So, last time, you guys had just finished dropping off Amelia Quartermage in the Feywild. The
Scarring
final
Doto
step,
again.
yeah, and scarring Doto again. Final step of your, uh, I hesitate to call it elaborate, it was a pretty direct plan to bring her to justice, or at least see that she paid for all the suffering she caused over the years. And we open the session with Noel seeking out the gatekeeper on Farrell to try and make sure that Amelia did not just keel over and die immediately, but she lived long enough to at least have a chance to experience some of what she inflicted on the people of Aelia.
Live long enough to suffer.
Mm-hmm. Which the gatekeeper appreciated. Very, very fake request. In exchange, a single favor was promised to be determined at a later date of equal value. She was not going to settle for lesser. After that, you guys spent several days on Feral, waiting for things to kind of get wrapped up. Burberry had some errands he wanted to run, got some statues created for the shrine to Alice here on the island. Noel and Lauren spent some time making use of polymorph in order to learn some new animal shapes. And after probably about 5 days on Feral, you guys made the determination that you could probably just fly back to Freeport in pretty short order. So you guys hiked south of Gladham, flew across the ocean at the nearest crossing point, and began the trip back to Freeport. On that first day, you guys spent the night at Barnaby's old shrimp shack. You guys started the campaign so many years ago. And by the end of the session, you guys were back in Freeport, and it is currently the 50th of the month. Excuse me. So you are less than a week, or no, a little more than a week, excuse me, from the solstice. And to answer your question, Clark, the the gloves, as well as Burberry's glamored armor that he had commissioned, both of those will be ready towards the end of this week on the 29th.
They'll be ready when, sorry?
At the end of the week.
Okay.
These gloves took forever.
They're a very rare item.
Maybe it's just that so much happened in between that it feels like it took forever.
It's been a busy downtime.
There was a whole arc that happened in the middle of downtime.
I feel like I should have John go back to his Helmfirth and like check in on things.
I mean, you guys would pass through Helmforth on your way back to Freeport. It'd probably be like the day before you got back, so that's more than doable. Helmforth is probably the same relatively quiet town that you left it as. At this point in the year, I would say
One more
it's
like
definitely on the cooler side. So you're starting to see some jackets, which are not terribly common here on the coast. Some long pants, are getting to be more common. But beyond that, it's still green, still pretty lush.
what about the upgrades to the orphanage and everything?
Yeah, the orphanage is looking a lot better since the last time you saw it. I mean, you got a large amount of that work done yourself. And if I remember correctly, you left it with some local craftsmen to kind of finish up.
Yeah, and the fields for the food.
Yeah. Those are still underway at this point. I think the last touches on the roof are being wrapped up at this point. The hope is to have it done by the new year. And the fields, I mean, they've been sort of fenced off and are in the process of slowly being kind of turned over to properly irrigated, for the coming spring. So they still got a few months to go, but God forbid it freezes. They'd rather have it done now versus having to wait for the ground to thaw.
Cool.
So things are looking good. And
Yeah.
everyone's very happy to see you as you come back through town. I am getting some messages regarding Solstice stuff. Are these requests for
What?
price quotes?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, Discord on my computer will like press enter and then send a
Really?
yeah. If I press enter, it just instantly sends the message.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, if you hold shift and enter, it'll create the cap.
Got it.
That's
So I can do it on my phone just do it properly.
yeah. Well, the phone has a separate button for sending versus
Yeah.
creating space. Alrighty.
Sorry. I knew it was going
I'm seeing some magic on this list. just a little bit.
Chani, could you mute if you're doing it through Let's Make again?
Oh, I forgot. That was on.
Oh shit.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Or you can just give me the cheapest quote you can.
the cheapest quotes. Are these all common?
Most of them are, yeah. There's a couple uncommon.
Okay. So for the commons, I'll say your quote's going to be 40, say on average. So 40 each, and then the uncommon.
I think there's like 2 thingies.
Okay, that's going to be a little pricier. Huh.
I
Lucky
guess
you.
it's not.
Yeah, you got a really good deal. That was a 1, so it's going to be 100 gold for that particular item.
Are you sending them to me?
So 40 gold.
Oh.
Oh, wait, that one is also a weirdo. Okay. So that is going to be,
Another hundo.
sorry.
How dare.
You're gonna hurt me with one of them, I feel like. Oh, okay. Okay, it's not terrible. Now, what about like the 2 random things?
Oh, your kind of custom job?
Yeah.
So the custom, I'd say that one's going to be like an 80, and then with the
Is that the pole one?
yeah,
Okay.
And then the mishmash of shit. How many are you looking to buy there?
However many he wants.
I mean, it's Freeport. It's the biggest city in the region. There's
He
there's
can go
plenty
nuts.
of bookstores.
He can go nuts.
Are you buying a gift card? Is that what this is?
Nah, I was just gonna take them around.
Oh, okay. Fuck it. We'll just call that another. Let's say 60.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Motherfucker. I'm just kidding. That's a lot of books. God damn.
Damn it, free Ray. What'd you expect?
God damn.
You guys did traumatize him in the Fake Lab.
I know. That's why I'm like, yeah, just let him go nuts.
It's only
Man.
fair. And then for your final thing, I'll leave that one to you since you are kind of closest with that character. How schmaltzy do you want to get there?
All right, we'll do. It's like a really nice set. How would that be?
Like I said, how much do you want to spend on this jewelry? It's up to you because you can get cheap jewelry and you can get fancy jewelry.
Oh, it's gonna be a fancy jewelry.
All right, then. How much do you want to spend on it?
What's low tier fancy?
Low tier fancy is gonna be at least 100.
Yeah, I want hooker expensive, not escort expensive.
Exactly.
Sorry, this is where my brain went.
You know what? Let me look at my money.
How much money is this Solstice going to cost you? Lauren?
A few hundred gold.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Let's do like 190.
Damn.
We'll just leave it at an even number.
Okay.
Okay, I'm taking that out of my monies.
Okay. So, Lauren is going to be spending some time in Freeport gift shopping, I think. First day. First day back in town. Is anybody else got anything they want to do back in Freeport?
I have a magic item which technically is still in production, which is Burberry's Solstice gift, which I imagine is not going to get done in time, unfortunately.
What did we specify?
It was that. Well, they know it's like that book of sending.
Yeah, I can't remember what we called that. That was rare or not, or very rare.
I think you said rare.
Okay.
I think with slightly limited functionality, it became rare instead of very.
Do you remember when that was? Was this before?
I have been looking through my notes.
This was before the Core Dimension thing started?
It was pretty early. I have it listed in my notes as early as session 63.
Whew, that's a ways back. Okay, hang on.
But I might have retroactively checked it off in like 64 or 65 too.
63 would have been the very beginning of downtime. So that would have been the 48th of last month, theoretically. You could have started that.
Okay, no, 65 or 64, sorry. I have in my notes that Burberry confirms they want the Entwined notebooks.
In 64?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would have been on the 49th of that. Okay, so that's still pretty early in the month. Honestly, those were probably done. Work weeks is 50 days. That actually, I'm thinking about it now. That's probably going to have been done around the same time as the armor and the gloves, if that's a rare thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then
It'll be done right before the solstice.
So
You did it right in time.
It's a Christmas miracle.
just on the that's right. I do not have that in my notes, but I will make note of it now. Um, cool. Okay.
Okay.
It's documented.
Cool.
So that'll be done at the end of the week.
Sweet. That was the immediate thing that comes to mind that I needed to tackle.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything?
I think I'm good.
Farm is always good.
He's easy to please.
I already ordered the fireproof toys, right?
I believe so. I think you ordered that before you guys left town to drop off Amelia.
Okay, cool. Just don't check.
Those would probably be ready. Those are not super high end. Or difficult.
Although probably got a raised eyebrows. Like, why do you want a fireproof? What do you expect your child to be doing?
Yeah, why are you giving your
Yes.
fire? It's like,
Don't
listen,
worry about it.
it's a dragonborn thing. Calm down. These things happen.
I was gonna go with some blacksmith kids who keeps leaving their toys in unfortunate places, but I like that better.
It's a less elaborate lie.
Only elaborate lies here.
Oh,
Just the way I like it.
the more convoluted, the harder they are to entangle. So, that doesn't sound like there's a ton on the docket. So I think this first night back in town, you guys kind of get back to Freeport, get across the bay, back onto the waterfront of the city. And it's very much as you left it, just a couple weeks later. And you are seeing at this point that there are solstice decorations getting put up. People are beginning to make preparations for the coming holiday. Wreaths and garlands adorn doors and lamp poles. You're starting to see ribbons tied to any pillars or vertical wrappable surfaces that can be reached. It's all very Christmassy for this very temperate green climate. The lack of snow, I think, might be a little disappointing for the world travelers in the party here. Noel and Burberry, I think, are probably used to whiter solstices, but
Oh, that's all right. Snow is very lovely to visit, but staying in it is the worst.
I agree.
well, then it's probably a welcome change. Even lacking snow,
Go
people
south for
are
the winter more often.
from north, as it were. But yeah, even lacking the traditional, white solstice sort of aesthetic, people around here seem to be getting into the spirit, and it's moving pretty quickly to get ready for the holiday. So, I think.
Oh, actually, could I see if my mother wanted to come up? I'd probably ask for Noelle's help with a sending message if she was okay with it.
Sure.
Just see if, my mom wanted to come to Freeport, if I should go see her, what she wants to do.
I will sending to Lauren's mom.
Okay. I don't know if this is your first interaction with her or not, but the voice that you hear back would be not too dissimilar from Lauren's, although much more even and sort of restrained, low key, much lower energy than her daughter person. And she would probably reply to you. She'd say, "You can tell my daughter that I would be happy either way. I know there are considerations regarding these necklaces, but if it's safe, I'd be happy to come visit.
Then I think I'd probably have her come visit then. Get her to the big city and then relaxing. Yay.
I will tell her that as well. Sounds like you're coming to visit.
All right. I'll be there soon.
I think I've seen Lauren's mom. I don't know if I've ever talked to her before.
I genuinely don't remember what context y'all would have met, but it might have been way early, back when.
Yeah, it was like when Lauren got debriefed or something.
Oh,
You guys also hit the Green Keep too.
in the
for a
room
while.
with the,
Yeah, we must have met once.
yeah,
That was a while ago.
that was a really long time ago.
It was just 2 years.
Next time you see her, it's like, hey, remember us? We're the people who were being hunted by that crazy warlock with your daughter.
No, you're being hunted by a crazy warlock. Look how life switched around. Look at the big old switcheroo.
It's just the
More
darndest
things
thing.
change.
Anyways, so yeah, I guess Ma's coming to visit.
How much is a room at the La Chateau?
At the Le Chateau, like 25 gold pieces a night.
It's pretty pricey.
It's
How much do you love your mother?
Quite a bit. She should want to treat her mama like royalty while she's in town. Not a thing she could ever want. She just buys it for her. She
Your
sees her
sister
eyeing
got me a
something.
room at the chateau.
She sees her eyeing something. She buys it.
Right.
Gives it to her later.
La Chateau is probably doing some repairs right this second.
It's true. Is there something like just like a little down from the La Chateau?
Let me look at my Freeport document.
If not, I'll go to the La Chateau.
How dare you?
I can't believe.
Let's see if you for okay. La Chateau is downtown. Marcus Street has let's see, Cafe du Dorf, Galleon Saloon, Crystal Comb, Heritage House. So the Crystal Comb it's like a historic hotel. It's an older, like a Western almost style sort of, probably like a 4-story building, from really early in Freeport's founding. This was one of the main places where merchant ships and their crews would stay if they wanted to get off the boat and take a break between jobs. It was a historic brothel, but after the rise of Angler's Landing, the Crystal Comb kind of cleaned up its image. So there's like some old-timey like paintings of women in like bustiers and big poofy dresses and shit, but like it's more of kind of like a novelty for them versus like, no, this is what we do, day to day.
Yeah. Can I get like a room by the water?
Yes, it would be a waterfront-facing hotel, and it is not quite as schmaltzy as the old Galleon or the Le Chateau. Where's the fucking DM screen? Here we go. You're looking at probably like a 4 gold piece per room a night.
Okay, that works. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. I think as you set your rooms up for the coming week and turn to leave, like you catch sight of like this very like 3.5 foot tall portrait of this like older Triton woman wearing, one of those real flowery corsets with the ruffles around the top, just like looking curiously down at you, catches your eye.
I'm gonna go buy that corset.
And the portrait winks at you.
Yeah,
As
she's
you
like,
leave.
gotcha, lady. I'll be back.
So, Mom's staying at the Crystal Cone.
Okay.
That is decided.
That's all I had.
Cool. Who else got shit?
I got a little short curveball for you.
Uh-oh.
I need to cast Ascending to Vanessa Mortarero.
Vanessa?
It was the woman that Callus was interested in at the prison island, or on the prison station on the pirate island.
Why would you do this, Pete?
I promised him I would.
Okay.
Things Clint did not expect today.
I mostly forgot. Well, I was going to do it in the prior downtime, and then we got in the Amelia quest, and it got pushed to the side.
Callus was the other guard.
Callus was, I think, a Triton guard, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a Triton guard that had to leave town
And
because you guys caught him.
yeah, and then there was a lady that he was either good friends with or interested in dating, and I promised that I would send to her to tell her what happened. Sort of.
Sort of.
Such a lady of your word.
It takes a whole spell slot. But I think it's worth it.
Well,
And don't forget 10 minutes.
what do you message to him? Or then to her? Excuse me.
Okay, I would cast Sending to Vanessa. I'd say, hi, you don't know me, but I know Callus. Things got complicated. Things got complicated. He's sorry he couldn't say goodbye. He wishes things were different. And he hopes someday he can reach out again.
Okay. You can tell your message was received. There's the connection to Spellforged kind of lingers as you can feel this mind, hundreds of miles away, kind of churning, trying to come up with a response. And the voice that you hear is tired and beleaguered. And they say to you, don't know who you are, but if you see Callus, tell him he got out at the right time. It's gone to fucking hell here. This island's a madhouse.
Ooh, man, I'm tempted to follow up.
Follow up. I want to know. Holy shit.
Ask her if she wants to leave. If she wants to leave, we can send her money.
Yeah, I'll send to again. Say, I'm not with him. I was one of the people who helped him escape. Though I can reach out to him, what happened on the island?
The reply comes back a little faster this time. They say, well, Pipe's dead, Bloodbeard's in prison, and everyone who's left is scrambling for what they left behind. Riviera is fucking gone.
What's gone?
Riviera.
Which was
Oh,
Pipe's.
it's the Riviera is gone.
She does follow up, like her last few words of this. Were you? Was this all you?
No.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed. It's
So
time.
now I have to message back, or she's gonna immediately assume the answer is yes. Although she wouldn't have seen any of us.
She has no idea who this is.
Yeah, like we were
Those
totally
voices reaching out and
disguised.
saying, "Yeah, we were on the island and we helped them get out."
Yeah. I would say, we were there during strange times, but I don't think this has to do with us. Our paths crossed with Callus and things got complicated.
I'll say, give me a deception check. Unless you want to finish that.
Yeah, I'll finish it with, you probably won't be hearing from me again.
But it's true. We don't think it has anything to do with us. We know it has something to do with
It's true. It's not
Just the old 21.
Damn, just a 21.
Rookie number.
There's no way she can roll higher than that. She's a mook. Yeah, the response you hear back is like, shit, well, you got out of the good time too. But not come back to Davenmore if I were you. I'm trying to get off myself. That old warlock's on the fucking warpath.
me.
Lauren would be happy to hear that.
Lauren's freaking out in the corner. Oh, no. Just kidding. She doesn't know.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not 100% our fault. It's just 99.999% our fault.
That island was going to devolve into chaos eventually anyway, I'm sure.
We just spit along the
We just
process.
get a little kick in the pants.
It's not like we took out 2 pirate lords and royally pissed off a 3rd.
Fine.
Oh god.
That was my only curveball plot. You're safe.
All right. I'd hold you to that, but I feel like that'd be cruel because you could well just come up with something that should be fair game in an hour. So we'll see. Anything else for the near future?
Did we want to? I mean, this isn't for me. It's Noel, but like, did Barnaby have anything else to do with his family in town? Were we gonna like go have dinner with him or something?
Yeah, and the expo's going on too.
Yeah.
We go to the expo, Sandy's gonna be like, "Hey guys, what's up?
What are you doing
I'm a
here?
dwarf. I thought we said we'd never see each other again. Stab, stab, stab."
Just
Then we have to
open
take
that
out
old
Sandy.
wound again.
Yeah. Please no.
Yeah. It's more of a Barnaby question, honestly.
Shit.
I mean, if y'all want to talk with Kim, that's fine with me.
Just, so nothing to do with us. Do you want to or not?
Yeah, do you want to?
Trying to remember, did we set up a dinner? It's been a while.
I think it was a pretty like open invitation. Like I'll be in town for a while, so you know, if you're going to be around.
I
Well, if
remember
that's
like
the case,
someone wanted to give me gumbo or something, and we didn't have time at that moment.
You were going to cook him dinner. That's what it was.
well, if that's the case, then yeah, I don't want
He was
to turn down his hospitality, offering us to come over and spend time with him.
sure.
Him being a busy man, after all.
That's fair. So when would you want to try and do that?
Probably as soon as we could.
Okay. So like next day after you're back in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the ingredients, all that.
So on the 51st, we'll say the next morning, while Noelle is sending her messages and Lauren is setting up her hotel stays for her mama, Barnaby, you head back to the Great Tolwar, where it remains docked in the Iron Wharf. And again, as you approach, you see the hobgoblins in armor standing guard. Tense up, across their glades until one of them, as you get closer, kind of recognizes you and says, that's the brother. Greetings, fellow. What can we do for you?
I'm just here to have dinner with one of my kin.
Right, yes, your brother.
Yep, Bubba.
Well, he is not here at the moment. He had some errands to run before making for the expo. I believe he's up in Hob Hill.
You know when he'll be back?
Presumably tonight, as he usually does.
Like, we talking late tonight or still available for dinner tonight?
Look, I just guard the ship, man. I don't know my boss's schedule like that.
That's fair.
Like I said, he's had business up in the hill. He's been kind of busy, honestly. The other guard at that point was like, yeah, he hadn't spent a lot of time at this expo, but not really why we were here to begin with, so. He just kind of shrugs.
I'm not in the habit of going somewhere I shouldn't be. I'll just wait for him to come by later tonight.
He just shrugs like, oh, okay. So, leaving
That's
it
what
at
I'll
that.
do.
Come back in the evening.
Yeah.
And again, I think when you first arrive, you receive a similar update. It's like, yeah, he's still out, but I mean, it's dark. He should be home soon enough. And if you're willing to wait, I'm sure he'll turn up sooner or later. He'll just kind of gesture to a barrel or a crate nearby.
Well, don't mind if I do then. And I just plop up on the barrel.
Sure. A lot of stars out tonight.
There sure are.
You're probably sitting there for a good half an hour before you finally see a crowd of armed hobgoblin guards escorting Victor in his cream-colored suit as they make their way kind of bathed in lantern light down the pier towards the ship. Victor is in the midst of a conversation with another hobgoblin, also wearing a light suit and wearing a hat. They're both kind of talking and a bit close to each other. And as you stand up to greet them, Victor catches sight of you and kind of pushes his way through the guards. He says, "Brother, well, what a pleasant surprise! I was not expecting to see you here." And he'll turn back to the goblin with the hat, and he will say, "Clement, this is my brother Barnaby. Barnaby, this is my business associate, one of our agents here in town, Clement Germain." And Clement will step forward and extend the hand. "Pleased to make your acquaintance."
Well, good to meet yours as well.
And you. Mr. LeBlanc, I won't trouble you any further. I'm sorry things did not turn out super productive today, but there's always tomorrow. And Victor says, Clement, I'm really hoping we can get something on these guys sooner than later. This is growing tiring. And Clement just kind of nods. He says, "Well, I'll get some more boys on it. See you in the morning." Barnaby tips his hat and begins walking back down the pier towards the city. Victor just kind of dusts his hands. He says, "Well, it has been a long day, but I take it you are here for dinner."
You know it.
"Well, right this way." And
Brought all the fixings.
As you walk onto the ship with him, he kind of leans in and says, "Is this just for us, or is this enough for all the boys?"
I'm nothing but not a good cook. I know how to make for a lot of people.
He claps you on the shoulder with a big grin. He says, "Oh, you're a saint. Boys, we are eating good tonight." As he turns back to the guards, "My brother is among the finest chefs on the Emerald Coast. You just wait." And you hear there's kind of like a rabble of appreciation from the crowd of guards behind you. And yeah, as he leads you onto the ship, I think you would probably catch that Victor seems a little winded. And he definitely seems like, even though he's kind of putting on like a friendly air, he definitely does come across as like he seems genuinely tired. But he leads you down to the first deck inside the ship and into the galley, where there is a cook already at work, another hobgoblin wearing a dirty white apron just kind of a smashed, like flat white cap. It looks like a chef's hat that's just so old and worn out, it's just fallen over. It just hangs like one of those like sleeping caps.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Monty, my brother Barnaby, I think is going to be relieving you for the night. Don't you worry. You are a guest tonight, just as much as he is. He is a cook, an excellent one, par none from around here." And Monty says, he just kind of throws up his hands like, fine, whatever. And he'll walk out. Victor looks at you and he says, "Well, is there anything I can help you with? Actually, do you want me to go get Monty again? Do you need like a sous chef situation?" Monty!
Crack my knuckles. Just give me a cauldron.
"Monty, where's your cauldrons?" He starts shouting into the ship. A cauldron is found and made ready for you, and you are able to prepare some gumbo in short order here. What are you putting in it, out of curiosity?
So, I am going to make a real kind of gumbo with sausage and shrimp. I'm going to start out with a nice dark roux. Get a bunch of peppers, get a bunch of seasoning in there. Do the rice in the bowl, not in the gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
Get a side of cornbread made up. Put in some hot peppers too.
Good home cooking.
Get smoker in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let it all thicken up. At the plan.
Well, it takes a little bit. It is gumbo. You got to cook that shit down. But by the time it's finished, the smell of all these spices and seafood has permeated this ship. And there is a galley of hungry sailors and guards sitting outside the galley, just waiting, talking excitedly amongst themselves. And as soon as you start kind of dishing out food, there is just kind of like a rising wave of appreciative claps and hollering at you. You know, some pats on the back. Hands are stuck out to shake yours. This is some of the best food they've had since they got to the English coast. And half of them don't even speak common, but they still do their damnedest to make it clear to you this is good. And after you've sort of served the troops, Victor will say, "But you want to take a plate upstairs, and maybe we can get ourselves a little bit of privacy."
I think that sounds like a good deal.
All right. You boys enjoy. And he'll make his way back up to the captain's quarters with you. You've got your own serving of gumbo and rice and cornbread. And sitting down in here, a much finer, much quieter, more intimate setting. Victor just kind of collapses into his chair on the other side of the table and looks at you. "Well, did not think I would be eating with kin again before I died. This is damn better than anything Mom ever made, I tell you that."
Where do you think I picked up all this?
Well, how's things been, Barnaby? I saw you once, and it's been almost 2 weeks now. You keeping all right?
Oh, I've been keeping on. We're getting ready. Don't know how soon, but we are. I know I mentioned it previously, but we're getting to the point where we're going to be hunting down that big old beastie.
That's a big trip. You know, your friend said you had a way to get back there quick, like. I won't lie to you, that'd be real handy. Can't say I love crossing the line on a ship. It is not my favorite part of this job. Comfortable though it may be.
Oh, with the sea at your back, that's all you could really want. But then again, I'm a bit more of the ocean type myself.
You might be better suited than this than I am. But I wish you luck. Can't say I've ever been much of a fighter myself, seeing as how I've left things. But you seem to be doing pretty well in that department.
Try to keep myself going on. That said, you do seem a bit tired. Everything been going okay with yourself, or you just had a busy day?
It's been a busy trip. He just kind of collapses back into the chair again, sets the spoon down, just kind of rubs his temples. You know, I thought it'd be a pretty quick open and close when we got here, but these fellas we're looking for, they are just nowhere to be seen. It is infuriating.
We all looking for?
You know, I'm not even sure at this point. I'm hearing one of them got fucking decapitated like 3 months ago, and I'm just like, okay, so where's the rest of them? But some holdouts from an old merger, they got some bad blood there and trying to make a go of things themselves. They're stealing from the company. It's just bad business.
It's not Lilin he's looking for, is it?
So
Sounds like it.
Yeah, well, he kind of chokes on with gumbo. Something sounding familiar here. Now, when you mentioned decapitation, that's an awful sort of thing. Sorry to bring it up during this, but how exactly did they get decapitated? Was it like, one of those guillotines?
no, I don't think it was a guillotine, but I'm not sure exactly how it happens. Folks I talked to, they've been saying all kinds of crazy shit about it. Pardon my language. Someone said a bear did it.
Oh my god.
Barnaby definitely chokes. Oh, I think I made the cornbread a little too dry. Sorry.
Tasted good to
A
me.
bear.
Yeah, get yourself some water.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
That's what I said. That is the most outlandish thing I've ever heard. But after what happened to Paul and Uncle, I can't rule it out. But I mean, this is a city. You don't see that kind of thing around here. That's just ludicrous.
Until
you know.
Lawrence in town.
So I don't know, but he's not even the most important part of this. There's a bunch of them. They all, like I said, they're stealing from the company. It's a whole problem. But they are on the ground, as they say. Real keeping it hush hush, down on the land kind of situation. I can't find a lead to save my life. But I've been asking, but ain't nobody can point me in the right direction.
So you're saying that they've been stealing from the company then?
Yeah.
Well, before he got missing head syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm given to understand he was sort of the ringleader, but they've been carrying on without him. I think some folks in his circle stepped up to kind of fill that void. But they've been stealing, they've been selling is the other problem. They're selling it. It's not just that they're taking it for themselves. They're selling product, and it's one, it's not how we do business, and two, they literally are stealing and selling out from under us. It's just the whole thing's kind of a mess. I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure that I can really staunch anything here, and my next step would be to head up to the farms, which I'm not looking forward to.
Oh, that's what you ended up doing? You did a bunch of farming?
Well, no. Company does farm. I mean, they do a lot of stuff. Honestly, they're pretty diversified. But no, I'm more of sort of an account management at this point. We're kind of here to fix problems internally, set things straight.
So you're here to fix things straight then, so you're just trying to find this this guy. Why would you want to find him if he's missing a head?
Well, not him. He, like I say, he's the ringleader. He got these people working for him, and they are still running around with their heads. Which,
Oh, I see. You're just trying to get find one, then they'll find the rest.
yeah, if I could find something, it's just, like I said, trying to find this operation in a city like this is starting to feel pretty futile. So I think the next step is probably going to be heading up to the farms and then maybe seeing if we can't cut them off up there.
Well, I'll be honest. I do know a few folk around here, and so does the rest of the party I've been traveling with. Maybe we can poke our noses into a few houses, so to say.
Wait, does this mean that Barnaby's brother works for the White Cartel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yes, it does.
50!
Well, the good thing is that they seem to have no interest in us.
Well, worst comes to worst,
Yeah.
they could always hire a freelancing bear.
I mean, like I said, if you'd like us to see if we can't get a lead or something for you,
Well, don't we
I'd be willing to
actually
help out Blood.
technically know a warehouse where they were operating?
As of months and months ago, yeah.
Yeah, technically we knew a warehouse.
You did.
But how did we know, and how would Barnaby explain that to his brother?
Also, I'll just say I'm really glad this guy doesn't read the paper.
He just got here on a ship.
It's true.
Yeah. He has not been in town long, and he is not from Freeport.
If he starts reading the paper, he'll be like, this party sounds interesting. Barnaby, are you not telling me something, brother?
Yeah. So Victor, I think when you say that, he kind of gives you kind of a weak smile, and he says, I mean, I wouldn't want to impose. I know you got a life of your own out here. And then, this is my job, but I'm also not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. If you're offering them, I'll gladly accept some help. Anything you can turn up certainly be helpful.
Oh, it's not a thing at all. All I've been doing is just carving a hunk of wood for the past 2 weeks, so gives me something else to do.
You always were your own man, Barnaby. I do appreciate that about you. I would greatly appreciate the assistance if y'all have the time. I know you got this whole plan, this hunt planned, but
Well, this thing's waited this long already. It can wait a few more days.
well, kind of you to say. Unrelated to all this talk of work, this gumbo is delicious.
Thank you. I learned how to make it real good like when I was out on the beach in the middle of nowhere.
I guess that'll learn you. I think Victor is probably not the most suspecting. And you're not really saying anything or doing anything to really warrant a deception necessarily. So I think we can probably leave it at that for now.
I'm being very careful with my words.
I've noticed. You sort of wrap up dinner. Victor kind of just fills you in a little bit on what he's been doing since, you know, he left the family, and how he joined up with this BS Tolar company, and you know, just been working his way up, trying to, you know, make a good name for himself, and kind of get out from under the boot of the Empire, as refers to it. Not too dissimilar from your own path, and I think more than anything at this point, you kind of pick up that he is tired, and he is not terribly invested in this project that he's been assigned. It definitely seems like it is more trouble to him than it feels like it's worth. You know, I think that's the vibe you pick up off of him.
He just wants out.
He just wants to finish it and go home and you know, call it done. But you know, he still hasn't turned up any results yet, and that's the one thing he cannot go home without. So, you know, he is where he's at. He is grateful to see you, you know, genuinely, and also very grateful for the food. And I think you guys part ways on a very full bellies, very sleepy on Victor's part. He will kind of tap you on the hand, shake him, tell you, well, if you ever want to come by and cook like that again, please don't hesitate. I will never turn down a meal like that. You have a good night, Barnaby.
You do the same.
And I'll see you off the show. So where do you go from there?
Probably gonna go to the party and tell them what happened.
Okay.
We can figure out, because this is a revelation to Barnaby. Not sure how he's feeling right now.
Fair enough.
Are we just all at the Presidium, probably, or?
Presidium or a hotel?
How late
whatever
at
you guys
night
decide.
is it? That's the question. Poor Lord.
Probably
Fair.
like 10 p.m.
She's not at the Presidium. Sorry, y'all.
Everyone's here but Lauren.
She's not drinking.
Drinking. Yeah, that's what she's
But
doing.
I do have the sending stone to her.
Shots.
You can hear me over the music.
Do you cast sending tool, Lauren?
Oh, I think we have a sending stone, don't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll when Barnaby returns looking slightly distressed and telling us he has to talk to us, I'd say, Lauren, Barnaby just showed up at the Presidium. He looks a little out of it. Might need to talk to the party. If you can get back here, please do soon.
Hey, give me
Oh,
like,
jeez.
give me like 30? Wait,
Lauren, is that Noel? No,
I can hear it.
no. Hello.
The magic of sending stones continues.
and then that's all her words.
Yeah.
He used half the word.
Yeah.
It's like when you open Siri, he's just yelling into
I was
it.
like, there's got to be a better way.
She'll like tap Adlar on the head. I'll be back. What fastest? Oh, eagle fast. I'll be back.
Drunk ass
And then
eagle.
A drunk ass bird.
You have to sing this very quick before she flies away.
So she'll just go outside the tavern.
They
Just
were
kinda
with
look
us,
around.
dude. They've seen it.
Yeah, Dodo's seen it.
Yeah, but now she's trashed.
That's true. So Lauren will step outside, look around, be like, pretend to like test wingspan. She's like, that's fine. Boom, big bird.
Knock over a garbage can.
The wings spread out, they knock shit over. You tip forward just because you weren't ready for the balance. You fucking hit your teeth up on the cobblestone.
You hear like a cry,
Yeah.
crying bird.
Like stumble forward, like flapping your wings, knocking more shit over before you finally lift off the ground and like veer wide out over the water.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And you guys can all watch at a distance as this giant eagle
Is
is
just-
like soaring through the air.
She has so much control.
That bird eats some fermented apples. I've seen that before.
She sees y'all.
Everybody, give her a wide berth for the landing.
Yeah, she's
Barnaby
like
gets out of the gun.
hot.
Give me a dex check.
Barnaby gets out his gun. He's ready.
Stop shooting Lauren. You know she can turn into animals. Stop
It's
it.
pretty marinated.
Stop it. Oh, I rolled a nat 20.
Oh shit.
Alright.
I feel like she does this like tumble. She like goes, shoo, starts like does a somersault, lands on her feet. She's like, I am here.
The bird like stumbles and trips and spins, and then you stand up.
That was an
Nasty.
excellent landing.
I was surprised. You were
Pat
coming in.
Aloran on the back and cast less restoration.
God damn it! Stop it! You're never allowed to touch me again.
That was 37 silver worth of shots.
You owe me money.
I'm just gonna help. You know what? Fine. Here.
Take 4 gold, and now you can actually get back to the bar.
I can fly.
Okay, so you can't like completely see Burberry's face, but he's like oozing disbelief.
I'm sober now.
Yes.
You see the bump up.
He's poking his head out. Well, we go inside. What's up, Barnaby?
So I went over to my kin to make some dinner for him, and we could chat, and found out some things. Found out how he ended up being so lucrative in his business. He, I'm pretty sure he at least hired or looked after Willem.
Well, that's fun.
Because he's currently trying to find the corpse of Willem for some reason, and also who worked on it, or who's working on it. If I remember right, there back at the farm, or did we blow that up? I can't remember. I think I remember explosions, but we've done so many now.
What did we do with Willem's money?
I know where one part of it is.
It was interrogated by the conclave with the Presidium, and then they burned it.
Yeah, the body's destroyed.
The only thing that's left is the head.
Which is currently 3 stories up.
Well, that would explain why I can't find that part.
Yeah, because I remember we had a name of the guy that was actually making the stuff. I'd have to find it though.
Yeah, okay, way
It
back
started
in my
like
notes.
Yeah. Hey, I found out Barnaby's favorite fish is Belviga sturgeon. The first thing I found.
Is there a particular reason it's the sturgeon?
Barnaby, is there a reason sturgeon's your favorite?
A lot of meat on them.
Morpheus. Oh wow, I literally flipped to the right page, y'all.
Nice.
Morpheus was his name. But he is a Vidalcan, and he wears a black robe with gold trimming.
I do remember that he was a Vidalcan, yeah. So
And then
your brother's looking for, or he's working with the White Cartel? Is that basically the takeaway here?
That is correct.
Well, that's one way to earn a lot of gold.
Yeah, he had been talking about going back to the farm to see who was running it and see what happened because apparently Willem was stealing, and I may be concerned that that might get traced back to us.
I feel like maybe Noelle goes and talks to said brother and sees if they're interested in the people that killed Willem. Or if they won't.
I guess.
I feel like.
Go ahead.
That'd probably be better than me. I mean, you know me, I ain't exactly a good liar. I'll admit it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
I mean, there's something wrong with that. No, there's not.
DM. So just to 100% be clear, could we get a quick rundown of that conversation they had, what we just learned exactly?
So, Victor LeBlanc is in town. He is trying to track down the group of individuals who are currently stealing from his company and reselling the product as their own.
Okay.
He has, at this point, determined that the original ringleader, whose name he did not mention, but who you have deduced is Willem, was killed some months back. Rumors are crazy as to how exactly. One person he talked to claimed that he was decapitated by a bear. He is not having much luck finding this group in Freeport. So his next plan at this point is to go check on the farms themselves and try and cut off the Freeport group from their supply support.
Okay. So, as to my understanding of the situation, would he give any shits about us? Because Willem was on his bad side.
Yeah, the thing is that we did technically help Willem, and then we killed him.
Yeah.
I think that's where it gets a little wishy-washy. But we could also say that they're just lying to cover their asses.
Right.
You know?
I'm a little more worried about Rainer and Secundo. Because they're literally about to go to the farm area.
Yeah, I probably should say something to Gideon.
This might be a Gatewatch conversation. I'm just thinking, I'm not sure exactly what I would tell him. What would I be trying to convey to your brother exactly?
I mean, I think you might be able to feel out better what his feelings are for finding out that we were the ones who did it. Might be the best way to put it.
Like if a group were to so happen to help Willem take over said drug industry. Just kidding, we don't know it's drugs. Farming region.
Product. Yes. Company. Mm.
Even though we know about Morpheus in a warehouse location.
Exactly.
Because I feel like if anything, if we were going to do anything, I'd almost say leave him an anonymous tip and be like, we couldn't find anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Me being the helpful type, I offered to see if we could find any info.
That's
doesn't mean
good.
we have to give him.
Because we can control some of this then, at the very least. So yeah, we helped Willem kill Vanis, who presumably was tied with the White Cartel. and he's here to correct things as well from the fallout of that whole situation.
Yeah, because it sounds like all he really wants is to deal with the people that are selling the product, and we never were technically involved in that.
Yeah.
Because like we could just say Willem, if like it ever came back to us and be like, so what happened? And be like, well, Willem hired us. We didn't really know what the fuck we were doing, you know. And then he ended up like stabbing us in the back, so we killed him.
Right.
You know. So it'd be like, well, we didn't know per se until it was a little too late.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I want to make sure we don't step on here is tipping our hand that we know he works for the cartel.
Yeah.
That seems like a bad direction for this to go.
I concur with that.
This might take a little careful maneuvering.
Would you like a boost?
Oh, you want me to go right now?
No, I meant for at the time in which you went. Would you like one?
Yeah. Sure. Can't hurt. Beyond that, probably worth talking to Gideon too. And I keep forgetting, but did he he said he wanted Willem's body?
He never said anything like that.
Okay.
He said, I gathered that they were looking for something from him.
He wanted to just know what happened to Willem? Like, he was looking for Willem.
He's looking for the people responsible for stealing from his company. He found out about Willem, and that Willem is dead. And that's about as far as he's gotten.
So, for example, if I had like an old newspaper about Willem, would it like describe our group really a lot in the paper?
Considering that we did an interview, probably. And by we, I mean you.
It was you and Noel who took that interview with the newsy guy. What's his name? Strat, I think.
Yeah.
Stradivarius. Or something like that.
I don't think we ever mentioned Burberry, because they didn't want to be mentioned.
Yep, I tried very hard to avoid any of that.
You did not have your group name yet.
Oh, that's true.
I think.
So did they say like a person described as a Lauren was the one that ripped off the person's head? Did they put that in the paper? Did they like put like the party members a general description of all of us in the paper? I guess is what I'm trying to clarify.
I would have to go back to the recording to see exactly what you guys said.
Because I know the Gatewatch, they talked about the Gatewatch in the paper.
They did.
I just didn't think they really included us too much into it because we were trying to like not be a part of it anymore because we were afraid of the White Cartel.
I do remember, I think Aaron kind of took the lead in terms of talking to like the sheriff and the Eyes of Tyr and the paper after everything fell out. And I believe it was published as like a Gatewatch operation to shut down a dark wizard that they had discovered, operating in Freeport.
Yeah. That's what I remember, because I remember we were trying to stay low because we found out about the White Cartel.
I think you guys probably were sort of a footnote in the main story. That would have been like the front page about like, Gatewatch, slaughters Dark Wizard in the street, that whole thing would have had its own story. I think Strat's story about you guys was a lot more low key and like buried in the paper. Fucking page 18B or whatever.
Well, we can give him the headline then. Because if
Yeah.
we're not mentioned in that, we can be like, hey, we found this paper and it describes what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think if anything, like the the lead article probably would not mention much about you guys beyond just like, the Gatewatch worked with a local adventuring group to bring down a dark wizard. More about the story on page X, deeper into the paper, and that would have been Strat's main story. Was like, this is who helped the Gatewatch, and this is what they told me about their experience.
I think it would be a bad idea to give him information regarding the Gatewatch, considering we're currently living there.
Okay, here's an idea. So we said we'd help him in some capacity, or Barnaby offered to. Here's just out of character. Here's where my brain's at. We can be pretty passive in this, and my thinking is like, my first plan that comes to mind is like, we're pretty much friends with Strat de Lapland. We could probably get him to like write a version of the article that doesn't mention us, print it out, and I could just bump into Barnaby's brother and be like, oh, I was doing some research because you were looking for this kind of stuff, and I found out some info about that guy who got beheaded, and just hand him a fake paper.
Okay.
I approve.
Interesting. Okay. So you want to track down Strat and try and sell him on a false print, a misprint situation?
Yeah.
That you off?
It's pretty late though.
Well, I feel like he also knew we were trying to stay low key about the White Cartel, and then we could literally be like, we found out like somebody is in town, and we want to kind of get them off our tail.
Yeah.
I do remember you guys telling him a bit that you were like, we don't want to be like hugely blown up in this, just like trying to lay low because you did have ongoing issues with this group.
Yeah.
As far as the time, like it's late now, but you could easily go down to the Freeport Chronicle in the morning and talk to him.
Okay.
Or track him down. So that's a plan. We can jump to that.
Probably would. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Okay. So on the next morning, 52nd, you guys could head downtown to the Freeport Chronicle building. Who all is going on this little conversation?
Well, Burberry said they would enhance me.
Yep, but I'm not going, but I'll enhance you before you leave.
I get that's like an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
If you want company, Lauren will join you.
Sure.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't risk anything if I'm being honest.
You could, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily need a role, but just like getting a sense of like his route to the Emerald Rail Company Expo and back so that I can bump into him would be useful. So like if Barnaby could take off pretty early and just kind of meander around and keep an eye out for which route his brother takes.
Okay.
Yeah, that I could do.
Sure. I would say Noel and Lauren leaving the Presidium and making for, like I said, the Freeport Chronicle building. The walk, is brisk and busy as ever in Freeport. With both of your perceptions, though, I think you would both notice probably like twice over the course of your walk. You do, as you're kind of walking around, like just kind of looking blithely at passersby, you do occasionally catch eyes with individuals in the crowd who like they're looking at you very like intently. And as soon as you kind of realize like, oh, they're staring at me, and you make eye contact, they kind of like nod and like just kind of keep walking. The first one is a very tall, pretty brawny, elvish-looking man. And the second one is a kind of dark-skinned human fellow. And both times it's both just kind of like they just nod and just keep going.
How hunky are they?
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Battlelord. No, Battlelord. Battlelord.
Since Pirate Island. Give me this.
This is
No,
this is
these are mob people.
this is what we call lumpy, right? The elf is very lumpy.
Okay.
He's wearing a pretty nice suit, but he's lumpy.
He's confident.
Oh no.
The human, though.
Oh no.
Shit.
Lord.
Oh,
No.
Lauren's like, oh wait.
Lauren,
wait.
we have work to do.
She like looks
Grab-
him up and down, gives him like a little
Goddamn
wink,
Abercrombie model here, who's just like, yeah, I see you.
and she's just like,
Just toss him a sending stone.
yeah. I mean,
He's got so many.
That's
You do that, and he honestly kind of like it's a small like little smirk, and yeah,
He's used to it.
he just keeps walking.
oh my god, away.
We don't recognize these people, though, I
You
assume.
do not, but they were both wearing pretty nice suits.
Can I, like, insight check? Are they, like... We're like, in on some secret, or are they just acknowledging that we are people they know are... We're, like, famous or whatever?
Oh, they're keeping an eye on you because you're at the train thing, and we said that we'd stay out of their business.
We're not going to the train thing.
No, they're not. It's just random people you walk by like on the way.
No, this is like the mob family people.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Go for sure.
I want to
The
just
paranoia.
try and... it's a pretty good roll.
I don't think it's that specific.
I just have no clue, so I figured just... Yeah, 22 total.
Too.
Can I roll insight too?
Sure.
I hope. I know nothing. I'm too distracted by.
That's in character, at least.
The first one was like, ugh. But the
Yeah,
second
she's like,
one was like, ooh.
She's like, Noel. Do you see him?
Meanwhile, Noelle's like, why are you staring? And yeah, when you're thinking about it, it's like they were looking at you almost like they recognized you. And the most that they really did was just kind of acknowledge you as, you kind of caught sight of them. I think the vibe that you get off of them is that they didn't seem to have much of an agenda, and it definitely seemed to be sort of a very like passing interaction for them. Because like looking around, like you're not being followed necessarily. There's just kind of people that you pass in the street.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely feels like recognition. Like these people knew who you were, and there was, with a 22, I'd say like just like a weird feeling you're getting about this sort of unspoken, shared secret. Like there was something weirdly conspiratorial about the way they kind of like nodded and like emoted in that moment, and kept going.
Okay. Well, that makes me think Calabaya, but we'll see.
Anyways,
See if the other hunky comes back, and then Lauren can question him. Oh, you Calabaya?
I mean, he'd be hard to miss.
So, Freeport Chronicle building.
Oh, Lauren, no, bad.
We need to roll a nat 20 on a good guy.
Yeah, I know.
We need
right?
some hunky
It's-
good guys in this campaign.
Hey, look, I've gotten some like 14s and 16s.
Hey,
Nah, we just need to get a Lord of electroshock collar for whatever. You see someone keep this done.
Shot caller.
And
he's
this,
gonna control who a Lauren
Heal,
can flirt
no,
with.
bad.
Winter Solstice gift coming up. We got you restraint.
No, I don't want it.
No, they got you restraints.
Oh,
Not those kind.
No, Plant, no, bad DM. I need a squirt bottle for you.
We arrive at the Freeport Chronicle.
At the newspaper, you ask for Strat de Lapland, and the receptionist says, "Oh yes, he has an office on the third floor. I will let them know that you're coming." And they'll send word up via this small device with a little like cup at the end of it. And she'll say, "Well, they're expecting you. Please head on up. Just take the stairs right there, and head up to the third floor. And as you're coming out of the stairwell, you can see Strat is already in the hallway, kind of like racing towards you guys, arms wide. It's like, guys, I have an office." He's super excited to see it.
Yay! Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
She gives him like a bottle of booze and congratulations.
Oh,
We heard.
You heard.
roll deception.
Do I get advantage for Lauren's
Yeah, do we get
contribution from the bottle of booze
Fine.
that she just had? Nat 20.
Okay, I rolled.
You see Strat tear up,
I see a 15 plus 5.
and his lips starts to tremble. And as he's holding the bottle, looking at you both, he's like, "Guys, thank you." And he just like pulls you into a big hug. I finally made it. I'm a real reporter. I'm a real journalist.
That
We
is
knew you
great.
had it in you.
Oh my god. Oh god. I got to collect myself. Please come in. I know chairs. And he shows you to the chairs in front of his desk.
So excited.
He is very excited. Stepping into the office, it's not like, the corner office. Like, there is a desk. It looks like it was, bought and built from an IKEA. Chairs are like wooden frames, barely upholstered.
Fantasy.
There's a bookshelf with like a handful of books and a filing cabinet, and it's not much else in here. But there's a window, which he very excitedly points out to you.
Oh wait, so is it like that fresh office that he's still trying to get his shit in there?
Yeah.
To, like feel like his office?
It looks like one of the smaller offices in the building, honestly, but like it's his, and he's very excited about it.
Does his window overlook out to the brick wall of the building next door?
It doesn't actually.
Oh.
It looks down onto Market Street.
Okay.
And if you kind of like lean and angle your head, you can actually kind of see not too far away is Liberation Square. You can kind of see like the fountain and all the market stalls and La Chateau at the other end of the square. And beyond that, the sparkling bay, Freeport Bay. But yeah, Strat takes his seat behind his desk, and his chair gives a loud creak as he leans back with a big smile. And he says, "So, yeah. I just got this
Congratulations.
promotion." Thank you.
Love
thank
the
you,
view.
thank you. Yeah, I was honestly expecting to see a brick wall, so this was awesome. Really excited. I guess they really like all the pieces I've been doing for the expo, and they wanted to make it official once it started. So I've got a press pass and everything now. I'm on the team. I'm in. I did it.
Well, congrats.
Thank you. Should we drink this now? Is it too early to drink this?
It's never too early, sweetie.
Oh no.
Right. As he starts struggling with the cork. It's like, how do I get this?
She's like, I got
Poor
this.
man.
Just pops it open instantly.
Bravo. A little golf clap as he takes it and starts looking for cups and realizes he doesn't have cups.
His office
Oh.
didn't come with cups. What a subpar office.
And he just throws like a swing back and sets it down on the desk. So,
Couple reasons we're here, actually. First, wanted to give you that.
thank you. By all means, please help yourselves. I mean, I don't want to drink this all myself.
Second, we might need your help with some official Lost Emeralds business.
Ooh, okay.
Nothing complicated, but it's something that's...
I'll put a hand on the door just to make sure it's closed.
Oh, sure.
As if like slowly starting to like creep open.
I'll just mage hand to make sure. So you remember when we first met? You met me and Lauren actually outside the
Yes.
Presidium,
Right.
I think it would have been, or something like that.
It was the Green Keep,
Greenkeep,
and
yes.
it was the day after you guys took out that dark wizard with the Gatewatch.
Right.
I remember
Yes.
it like it was yesterday.
And we were very, at the time, trying to be reserved and not put our names out there too much, which,
Sure.
thinking back to your article, you probably did. I don't remember. Peter doesn't remember, but
We can check the archive.
yes. Assuming that that's the case. But here's the thing. We recently learned that some people are in town doing a little bit of investigating in regards to that death.
Oh.
Probably
Yes.
shouldn't tell you a lot. But
We're trying not to get wrapped up.
we're trying not to get wrapped up, and we're trying not to get you wrapped up in this, okay?
What kind of people? I mean, is it serious? Are they like dangerous?
It depends. Do you have a pen in your hand? Is there paper?
He doesn't have anything in his hand beyond the bottle right now, but he definitely looks like he's kind of itching to like start writing something. That, like he's got the tappy hand.
Yes, they're dangerous. The kind of people you don't want to get on the wrong side of.
Sure. So, what's the play? What are you thinking?
Well, they're doing some investigating into that death. And we figure it's probably a matter of time before they start looking through old news archives. So here's what we want. We would love for you to write a version of the story you wrote that day that does not mention any of us in any capacity. And get it printed on that same paper with the same articles. We have a chance to nip this in the bud. And we're in a unique position where any evidence we hand him will probably be taken at face value.
Strat gets real quiet. He kind of leans back in his chair. He's thinking. He says that is not a small ask. Neither of you have worked in newspaper before, right?
No.
Okay, so honestly, it's pretty cool. So the way it works is you get this big machine, right? It's a huge press, right? And there's this metal plate, got all these lines that we use, tiny little like typeset, like metal bits, and we just slide everything into place, and it's all, it's super intricate. It's crazy cool, but it takes typesetters ages to get those pages set up, like all week. And I know it's just the front page that you're asking for, but that's still like hours and hours and hours in the printing room with the press. That could be tricky to just do short notice.
Well, I'm trying to think of an alternative then.
Just ask him how much it would cost.
Yeah, like what kind of time commitment would it require?
I mean,
We have it, but solve all our problems with money.
Low-key, though.
I'll say give me a persuasion check.
With advantage.
A lot. 25.
He is definitely kind of thinking and like nodding to himself, and he's like, I mean, if these people are as bad as that guy, that's definitely not something we want to let just lie before we can really expose them. So, I believe me, I don't want to charge you anything for it. It's not a question of money. It's really just time and uh, access. That's the biggest issue. Um, and he starts kind of looking a little nervously at you, Noel, and he says, "Forgive me for being forward. I'm sorry this is inappropriate, but are you by chance like are you a changeling?"
Just look down and back up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to offend you if you were like albino or something. I just
It's a skin condition.
I really
if
said
it was a skin condition, I didn't want to be insensitive. But no, honestly, like if you are and you are, that makes this actually probably a lot easier. So one of our typesetters is currently in the Vale for the holidays, and he's not going to be back for another week. But if you wanted to take his place for a day, just to kind of help get the final paper out for the year, I don't know that anyone would be too suspicious of that. You know, if you just turned around, came back, helped out. I mean, he's always been like a real helpful, like committed to the paper kind of guy. You know, real company fella. Um, I could get you in front of a type machine, and you could set up a front page like you need it to look. Um, it's a process, like I said, but I mean, you guys are great. You could figure it out.
I'll be honest, that actually sounds kind of cool because I always wanted to know how you guys did that stuff. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, come here, and he'll lead you out in the hallway, and he will kind of head down past a lot of these like office doors, and then take a turn towards like a break room area, and he will point to a picture on the wall that has like staff of the Freeport Chronicle 430 on it, and he very excitedly points out, so that's me right there, and you can see this like he's like a head shorter, and he's like standing off to the side. It looks like he tried to kind of like intrude on the picture, like he was not supposed to be there because there was like a very cross-looking man, like arms crossed across the chest, looking down at him next to him, and he'll point to another one on the other side of the group and say, "So that's Jeremy right there," and Jeremy is a fairly tall, older half-orc man, kind of wild, frizzy gray hair, glasses, and he's just kind of wearing like a collared shirt and like suspenders. He's got his jacket kind of thrown over an arm. Not exactly like an imposing presence, but he's a big guy. And he says, so Jeremy's, like I said, great guy. Supposed to be in the Vale for the holidays and shouldn't be back until next week. But like I said, if you play it off, I think I could get you in the print room and you could get your front page figured out before anyone catches on. I mean, I think if you get it done today, you know.
that would be perfect. And you'd be there to help me?
He kind of winces. He's like, I'm supposed to be at the expo in like half an hour, so I'm sorry, but I can't. But I know you can do it. You guys are great. And we're going to catch these guys, right?
Wait, am I helping? Lauren's like, am I helping with this? I feel like I stick out like
Lauren can't really get in as easily, but
I could be your pet poochie.
Do they own a dog? Or a cat?
Jeremy
Any
does-
animal, really.
Jeremy does not own a dog or a cat. No.
Okay. Well, he should.
I think he's allergic, but
Damn.
I guess no Poopsie today. The adventures of Poopsie will return one day.
The next time we need a distraction.
God, I forgot his name was Poopsie, and I was just like, you said no Poopsie today, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's a weird D&D session.
oh, Poopsie,
Just a little bit.
Oopsie is such a
I
shitty
was like, I didn't realize we were bringing constipation into the game.
We
That's
are
what happens when
today.
you fail your con saves.
Roll for
Please
Poopsie.
no.
Roll for Poopsie. Okay.
There's some laxatives. Roll.
I rolled a 5.
You're a dysentery. It's bad.
Wait.
You get food poisoning. Roll for explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, basically.
God.
Please no.
If you roll in that one, you get explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, that's some hardcore D&D rolls.
That's
just
whenever
die
we play
you die
D&D on the Oregon Trail.
You die from dehydration from explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, anyways,
Yes. Show me where I need to go, and I guess we'll figure it out.
okay. So, he'll take you back to his office so you can get disguised however you need to do that. He'll leave the room just to be.
He doesn't even need to leave.
Uh,
It's just my armor and my body can change pretty easily.
And within seconds, you look exactly like the old orc man in the photo. And Strad is just, God, it's so cool. Okay, this way. And he'll take you to the elevator and lead you up to the 5th floor, where you will find yourselves in a very loud, sort of almost factory-like room. It's big open floor plan, and there are a mess of these massive like tables that have all of these sliding metal arms and bits on them, and the centerpiece of these are these large grooved rectangular surfaces, and you can see at various of these stations around this sort of area. There are workers, sleeves rolled up, many of them with cigarettes in hand or lunch on the table next to them, ink kind of in grease sort of covering their hands. Very loudly kind of sliding and clacking all these little iron metal bits into this this grooved table, and they've got like these huge like drawers full of these things, and Strat will lead you, and as he walks, he's like, "Hey, Marge, Dorian, good to see you. Hey, yeah, look, Jeremy's back. He came back. He said he'd be willing to help for one more night." And he'll kind of lean up to you and say, "Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide in where you need it."
That's so forward. That's a one.
It's just like just everything's grooved. You just hook it in. You'll see on the little tight bits. And
He said type bits, damn.
okay. He'll lead you over to an unoccupied station. So this is Jeremy's, and he will show you where all the letters are kept, all the punctuation, all the different sizes, how everything's organized, and just kind of give you like a basic like rundown of how these giant presses work.
Right.
He's like, so when you're done, you're going to slather the whole thing in ink, you're going to flip it, and you're going to press, just stamp it onto a piece of new sheet.
Seems pretty simple.
This is probably gonna take you the rest of the day. Good luck. He's gonna pat you on the shoulder. I gotta go, but we're gonna get him. And all right, good seeing you, Jerry, Dorian, Martin. I'll see you guys after the expo. Bye, guys. And they're like, bye, Strat.
I would ask Strat.
Strat.
I don't know how far back their personal archives go, but if he could bring me a copy of that paper so that I could pretty accurately have all the info I
Copy
need.
the rest of it.
Yeah, right. And he will. He'll bring that to you for sure.
Okay. Well, have fun, Lauren. I'll be here.
I feel like Lauren's just like standing there, like, do I should go.
The tour group is that way.
She's like looking around, like, gets out her sending stone dagger.
Hey,
Like,
Jeremy, who's your friend?
I'm a Lauren. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Lauren.
I'm more of a friend of Strat, honestly. Jeremiah, I just met him on the way.
It's Jeremy.
Jeremy. Oh, I said Jeremy. Sorry. Don't know what's going on.
No, it's fine. That proves your point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Roll deception with advantage, sure. As you make your way out and start leaving.
Okay, the first roll was a nat 1. And the second roll was a 14.
All right, yeah.
Plus like 5, I think. Oh, wait, for deception? Wait, that's not the same.
Yeah, deception.
Okay, so 16 and
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lauren, but word of advice, this place gets real greasy and real hand clappy real quick. You might want to watch your fingers, out. It's like, hey, you don't want to grease up that nice dress. What little of it there is. Using Dorian's like leading way out from the station to get a better look.
These guys don't get listeners often.
word, sir.
And it shows.
This is normal. Good sir.
You just hear Marge. How's the wife, Dorian? She's great. She's great. So yeah, following Strat, Lauren, and heading out of here. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
All right. So Noel, you were left to your own devices in the print room. You're handling one of these massive devices, and Strat will probably have that paper with him that he could just leave with you. Like, I would imagine that he would pull from like his own personal little filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Probably pretty crumpled, just because it's.
What? You mean he doesn't keep all of the articles that he's ever published in like a binder?
Yeah, no, it's a little crumpled a little bit, but it's legible. Something that I think will probably strike you as you take hold of it is that this is a very large piece of folded newsprint with 4 printed pages in total on one sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to commit to doing all 4 of those pages? Or do you just want to do the cover page?
I mean, how long would it take?
I mean, he told you it's probably going to take you, the rest of the day to get that cover page done.
Hours and hours.
It's a slow, clicky process.
I can confirm it does take a long time. Freaking typeset class.
Typeset.
I mean, wouldn't it be weird if there was only one side of it filled out?
Not wrong.
Huh?
At least 2.
You're not wrong.
Front and back. That's all you need.
I think my compromise here might be like, well, no, I'll see how much I can get done in a day.
Okay. I'll say give me a dexterity check.
Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion some inspiration is going to be used shortly here. Yeah, I'm going to use my inspiration. Useful as always.
Uh-oh. Do you need more inspiration?
10 total.
10. Alright. So, from here, Noel, Strat glossed over it, and he's not a typesetter, so he does not know exactly how greasy and how slippery these things can be, and also how much the little sliders like to jam and get stuck in the grooves of this giant plate. It's a pain in the ass.
There's got to be a better way to do this.
It's horrible, yeah. And it's a
Mage hand.
solid 7 hours of work getting this thing in place before you're done with the front page.
Wait, could Noelle theoretically cheat and mage hand things to herself to make the process slightly faster?
I mean, she could theoretically. It's not going to be hugely faster. And she did roll a 10.
Yeah, I rolled pretty garbage.
But did you want more inspiration?
Well, I can't. I mean, it only gives advantage.
That's right.
It probably takes you, like I said, it's 7 hours. So starting early in the day, you wouldn't finish the front page until probably 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. I wish we could have used our money to fix this. I mean, don't want to commit a whole fucking day to this again. It's not like I'm doing that much anyway. You know what? I think in the interest of, because Noelle actually does find the process interesting, she will spend one more day working on this, I guess. Also, I think it'd be a little weird if we immediately handed him.
I mean, it's 3 in the afternoon, so I mean, if you want to keep going and make the full page, you can. If you want to just call it with the front page, you can also do that. So I'm just saying.
You know what? I'll just keep going and hope to hand it to him tomorrow.
Okay. So I'll say go ahead and give me another dexterity check.
Now, do you want inspiration?
Sure.
Okay, you can have my
Just to be clear, I have rolled 6, 5, 4. So let's see if this goes up or down from here. Okay, we go up. That's 17 this time total.
Okay. That's not bad. Okay. So, better. Starting to get the hang of things. You get this one done an hour faster than the first page.
All right.
So you are working until probably 9 o'clock tonight. But you now have a second
My
page.
hands are just covered in ink.
Ink and grease.
Yep.
Fingers are sore and swollen. Everyone at this point has already gone home, and they're like, "You're a fucking champ, Jeremy. You got this. Thanks again for coming back for the holidays."
Someone's got to do
See
it.
ya. Say after your vacation, Jer. Say hi to your friend for me.
Yeah, I
That was probably 3 hours ago.
yeah. I'll make sure it's dry. And now that I have it done, I can make a bunch of these, right?
Sure.
Cool. I'll just make 10 just to make sure we have.
So you've got I guess half of a full spread segment, the front page and then the page directly behind it, and calling it there. Just printing a whole bunch of those.
Yep, just getting that front page.
And then we'll just trim off that blank half. So we'll call them archival, right?
Yeah.
And you got your stack of falsified newspapers from 3 months ago.
Yes. Cool. at this point, I guess we could have had someone go to the library to see if they have this paper archived. So if someone wants to take care of that while I'm doing this.
Lauren,
Yes.
you were there. You want to help check the archives at the local library?
I suppose.
I guess.
She'll tell Adler I'm at the library. Save me.
Ooh. He's like leaning back, like nursing a headache. So, give me an investigation check. We'll keep it simple.
Oh, another nat 20 plus 1.
What the fuck?
Nice.
Yeah, the newspaper archive is not hard to find, and you can very easily find the paper from the week after your fateful final encounter with Willem, along with all the rest of the articles. Inside of it, you find the front page. Easy enough. Black and white, clear as day. That does not take long.
Perfect. Well, we know it's there. We have what we need to swap for the real one, and then we're gonna hand to Barnaby's bro.
Okay. So as you're leaving Noel, the office is dark. Many of the lights are already out, and there's not a sound in the building. As you board the elevator and ride it back down to the lobby, step out. Nobody at the reception desk, nobody inside. Walk to the front door, and it is locked.
Is there a window?
Yeah, it's like a glass door.
Dimension door.
Okay. Good use of a little slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're home.
Cool.
This is easy open and shut. So you'll replace that paper come morning at the archive, and then you want to hand us off to Victor.
Yeah. So I think the plan is going to be swap out the paper at the archive, and then hand. I probably just stole fucking Strat's copy and just swapped out the front page.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think the next morning then, Lauren can show you the archive and say, give me a sleight of hand check to make the swap without being noticed by a passive librarian.
I am pretty good at that. Fucking God. 7.
You needed again?
My dice does not want to roll above a 5 tonight, guys. Good thing we're not fighting people.
Sure. So I mean, there's a lot of rustling as you're pulling these out, trying to be delicate, not damage anything.
So it was a 12 total.
12 total. Oh, interesting. I guess it's a meets it beats the situation because I rolled a 12 too.
Silvery barbs. That might be a little too obvious.
I'm like, is that? Because usually when you have like a contested roll, it's like a status quo maintains, like nothing changes.
It's on you, man. However you want to roll it.
I don't know. I'm tired. I don't remember. We're just going to say meets it beats it. It's good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you're rustling. You're a little worried because there's one library page. It's like walking past the end of the aisle, like back and forth. Looks like they're like retrieving books, and you're worried they're going to glance down at you as you're kind of like finishing up what you're doing and closing the drawer. But no issues. You're able to replace your page without catching any undue notice and make your way out of the library.
Okay.
Your false evidence planted successfully.
Cool. Now I will go to wherever we kind of sussed out his path leads, so I can kind of run into them. Oh, is it Buddy?
So,
AKA Victor?
Victor or Bubba?
Bubba, that's it.
So,
I should tell you, don't call him Bubba.
Good to know.
flashback to the day before. Barnaby was tracking Bubba, so I'll say go ahead and give me a survival check.
Does someone say something and just went real quiet?
Someone.
I said go ahead and give me a survival check if you would be so kind.
All right.
Barnaby.
To track Bubba.
See if I can't find old Bubba. That is a 18 plus 2.
20? Easy,
Yep.
easy. Yeah, so you already know that he's been poking around Hob Hill for a while now. As the guards told you, you know that he's spent some time at the expo. Are you wanting to fly or stay on the ground while you track him?
Fly.
Okay. So it is not going to take you long at all from top down to track down what is basically a platoon of hobgoblin soldiers escorting men in white coats. Very, very easy to find, knowing where to look. And kind of setting down on rooftops and just watching them. You can see that he is basically spending his mornings like canvassing Hob Hill, like block by block, literally just going door to door and asking people whatever he's asking them about, presumably, about Willem's cadre in town. There's a few moments while you're watching this where you will see that his guards will sort of break off from the main group, standing outside and waiting, and like join him inside periodically. This happens like once every 5 houses or so. Sometimes like 2, sometimes more like 5. And he does this for like an hour and a half before he eventually leaves the neighborhood and begins making his way pretty directly southwest towards the Internet Rail Expo, which, from your vantage point, while in the air, you'll be able to see is sort of set up like a World's Fair situation in miniature. This sort of industrial park part of town has been really heavily decorated and dressed up, like all of these like planters with live plants and like big sheets of grass have been rolled out over the concrete. Like it's very like green and ritzy and showy and pretty. There's like balloons and streamers and banners everywhere. There's music playing from probably like 3 places at the expo. And the centerpiece to this whole fair, among the various displays of like train carts and big display maps of like planned railroads and like a display of like how railroads are built. What are they made of? They got all these demo stations set up to kind of show stuff off. The centerpiece of the whole fair, there's a gigantic stage where it looks like presentations are given, either at end of day or important scheduled events. And on these large podiums behind the sort of main speaking stand, there are 4 massive train engines of varying designs, clearly evidenced by their exterior. All of them seem to have been built by different designers. At a distance, it's hard to say exactly what the differences are, but like one is like jet black, one's got all this like shining like chrome silver and gold kind of popping off of the gunmetal. One is like a bright red color. you can see the distance. Um, and they seem to be sort of in the center on the stage, overlooking the main sort of fairgrounds. And you can see Victor will make his way from Hob Hill through Freeport down to the expo and begin just sort of meandering the fair for most of the day. And you'll periodically see him sort of touch base with other large groups with small escorts of their own. As it does look like he is somewhat invested in the fair, given the time that he spends there. But over the course of the day, probably like twice, he will break off, and leave the fair, head back to Hob Hill, like bang down some more doors before he goes back to the fair. Like he's kind of like back and forth across town. And then after the fair sort of wraps up for the day, he heads back to Hob Hill one last time for probably like 3 hours as the sun's starting to set. And he doesn't get back to the ship until like 9 or 10.
That's useful.
That is.
All right. Well, thank you, Barnaby. I guess the next morning I will attempt to find him. Probably like, because I assume his battalion of guards has to break a little bit if he wants to go knock on doors, right?
Yeah, I mean they'll let him out to go knock on doors, and then
Sure.
if he calls them, they follow him in.
So I will kind of try and intercept as he's approaching Hob Hill, I guess.
Okay, sure. So like early in the morning, as
Yeah.
he's starting. So yeah, I mean, following Barnaby's instructions, it's not too hard for you to kind of like find a spot on sort of the main Temple Street, right? That leads to this neighborhood, and just kind of watch for a large group of armored men appearing in the distance, and it doesn't take long for you to catch sight of this group of people and approach.
Would we say that Burberry probably enhanced me
Sure.
in the morning?
Take all the enhancements.
I will. Cool. I'll keep my my eyes peeled for that, and once I see them, then I will try to hail down Victor. Victor.
And yeah, you'll see the guards' heads kind of whip in your direction, and they kind of close rank a bit before you see this familiar hobgoblin in his cream-colored suit kind of push through them. Excuse me, boys. God, names. I remember. Don't tell me.
Okay.
Miss Noel, correct?
You got it right.
Barnaby's friend. Yes. Hello. Hi.
It's good to see you.
You're out early.
Yes, actually, for a very specific reason today. I was just at the library, and Barnaby told us about, a little bit at least about what you guys talked about at dinner. You were doing some work here in town, trying to look into a bit of, stuff going on. He mentioned this, I don't know if it was you or him, but someone mentioned like a beheading. And I thought that sounded familiar. And I remembered, I read an article about that a few months ago. And I'll start going through my bag. And so I went to go see, and they did have a copy of it at the library, if you're curious. I don't know if this is exactly what you're looking for, but it's so specific, it stuck out to me. And I'll hand him the forged paper.
Okay. So just as a blanket roll for this interaction, give me a deception check with advantage for the work you put into this fucking ruse.
Natural 20.
Shit.
Yay!
31.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a lot better than me.
Victor's eyes light up at that, and he says, "My God, you did? Oh my, thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Dark Wizard. Willem Grind. I know that name. Shit. I know I've heard that name. Okay, Grimes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Gatewatch. All right. Well, that is definitely a lot more than I had. Thank you for this.
Of course. Yeah, we're trying to, keep things safe around here. Anything we can do to help, of course.
Are we gonna warn the Gatewatch that we gave him this information?
I mean, we don't. It's tricky because we don't actually know what was in the article out of game.
Well, I'm pretty sure the article was effectively like the Gatewatch led this takedown of the Dark Wizard, Will Grimes. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
was
is
that
that-
the original intent of the article? Because I pretty much control whatever the article says at this point.
That was the original article. Yeah. And your party specifically was mentioned as sort of a footnote.
So I
as like,
think.
helping the Gatewatch was a low group of adventurers. Blah 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 blah.
So given that I spent 2 days on this, I think
Well,
my
it was 13 hours.
right. I spent 2 work days worth of time. I think my intent in rewriting the article would probably be to imply that it was unknown kind of outwardly forces that like intervened, like there was clearly something more complicated going on here, like maybe some sort of speculation that it was like outside cartels or he was involved in some untoward business activities, and it was this whole hubbub and there was not a clear answer to what exactly went down. Something that keeps us and anyone we know out of this guy's eye line, basically.
Okay, so no mention of Gatewatch.
Especially since they are actually the ones who have Willem's head. Probably not a good idea to put them in the article.
Yeah, I think in the interest of like keeping some level of narrative consistency, like maybe some mention like the Gatewatch was consulted after to like discuss speaking with the
Yeah, it's a tree.
the corpse or something like that, but nothing that like directly links them to the attack, basically.
Okay. So was basically killed in a gang dispute of some kind.
Yeah, like the Gatewatch was consulted due to the presence of dark magic, but had no further comment, something like that.
Okay.
To be fair, he did get into a fight with another gang. It's just we were the other gang.
Sure.
No pedo.
So he's looking at it, and I think he said, well, I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Can't say it's much of a lead, but at least that kind of puts a bit of clarification on what exactly happened with him. Still, though, I do appreciate you bringing this to me. Grimes is good. I didn't have his name before. That is good to have.
Of course. Well,
Dark magic. That's concerning.
yeah, it was a big deal at the time.
Weird shit. Pardon me. Well, thank you again, Miss Noel.
Yeah. I'm sorry it
this
couldn't be more of a useful lead, but hopefully it's something.
Well, I mean, I might reach out to these Gatewatch people, see if they can comment now if they're willing. Can't say I'm terribly eager to make their acquaintance, truth be told. I don't seem super popular around here. And can't say their ilk are terribly well liked back home either. But, maybe they'll know something. Still, thank you.
Yes. All right, I will leave you to your business, but have a good rest of your day.
I'll do my best. You as well, Miss Noel.
See you around.
You'll see him take his little platoon of personal guards and start walking down the street, and before long he's... Excuse me, folks, I was wondering if y'all had a minute to talk.
Could I just like not stay in his eye line, but sort of linger around the area, just like listen to what he's asking about?
Yeah, I'll say give me a perception check.
I'm so glad we're not fighting anyone today. I mean,
That
a
bad,
pretty
huh?
good perception, though. 14 total.
14. Okay. Yeah, before long, you see the door open and you hear him. You can still kind of hear his voice slightly raised, a little lower now that he's not, shouting for people inside. He's like, folks, I was wondering if y'all had a minute to talk about some recent going on in town. Let me introduce myself. My name is Victor LeBlanc. I'm a representative of a foreign investment firm. We're not from Freeport, but we are invested in Freeport. I was wondering if y'all would be able to spare a moment to discuss some recent happenings in the neighborhood. May I come in? Thank you. He'll make his way inside. And after that,
He's a vampire.
Can I ask an out of character question?
Yeah.
Are we sure he's not somehow running it? Because his name's DuBlanc. It's the White Cartel.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
And he's got a mob
Yeah.
of people following him around.
That's a good call.
I don't feel like you were incorrect with that guess.
Or if he is not the leader, he's at least a very strong participant.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I will.
Earshot.
Yeah, I'll just kind of get a vibe of what he's asking about, and then I'll take off after a few minutes.
Okay. Well, with that, I think this is a good time to take a break because it is 9:40 our time, probably 10:40 yours.
Probably.
So, yeah, it's running a little late, but we can get our break in. Be back 10 minutes and wrap up this session.
All right. Sounds good. The stream is back.
All right. So we are picking up. Noelle has just handed off fake evidence to keep Victor LeBlanc, a possible agent of the White Cartel, off your tails. What do you want to do now?
I mean, Noelle will spend a little bit extra time in the morning just going around to all the various libraries she can find and making sure that every appropriate page has been swapped as needed.
Maybe that's a time skip too. I know that very rare items being done.
Yes, I just wanted to tie up this little loose end.
Fair enough. That is within her ability to do, I think, considering how well parties rolled on this front. It can go off without a hitch.
Cool. Yeah, I've been rolling really good today.
You haven't, but the library people have. The hunting people. Yeah, so now that that's taken care of, on the 53rd, what do we want to do now?
Time skip to items being done.
Want to?
I was just gonna ask, has my mother come into town yet? Or
Yeah, she probably would have arrived. Like, probably yesterday, honestly.
oh, okay. Well, Lauren will be spending her time with her mother and simultaneously trying not. I guess she'll let Adlar.
Oh, Adlar can meet your mom? Can he? Is that allowed?
Yes,
Oh, boy.
she'll meet up like a.
Oh no, Adlar will get his vengeance.
Oh,
Oh no. Yeah, she'll just be like, Adlar, you want to meet my mother?
Do I?
But we can set it up so that John gets his magic item, and
That's fine.
he can get his magic item, and then I can go to dinner with Adlar and my mom.
Sure.
Is Sarah in town?
I believe she was until she took those medallions back to the village. Speaking of which, Lauren, you'd be able to pick up your other 7.
Okay. I think I told them that my other friend, not Saren, could take them and bring them.
Oh, the Dragonborn guy?
Yeah,
Oh God, what's his name?
I think it's like Garrick. Or something.
Garrick. I think
Yeah.
that's right, Garrick. Sure. Those are all going to your village?
Mhm.
Okay. Fair enough. Then those have already been dealt with and handed off. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Adlar has been jumped at the opportunity to meet your mom. That's absolutely happening. Something else that I just realized now that I'm looking at my calendar. Burberry, it looks like you had your birthday while you guys were still traveling back to Freeport on the 49th.
Oh,
Happy birthday to me.
happy birthdays.
It's just one day. Oh, you know what she meant.
I celebrated by eating like 5 squid sticks.
So it's like the rest of the Squid Pops.
No. I will never be able to finish the squid pups, especially because I keep replenishing them.
Fair. But yeah, so that happened.
Maybe that was the night we were at Barnaby's shack.
Sure, good enough.
Birthday dinner.
Birthday
Birthday-
gumbo? You should never.
Birthday gumbo.
Birthday gumbo. It's good vibes.
Got a little candle sticking out of it. You want to take that out before you eat.
The candle just melts immediately into the gumbo.
Boiling gumbo.
My brain just went to, like, you know how sometimes she'll lick the icing off of the candle, like, after, like, it's just random soup getting slurped off the end of this.
Yeah. Savory. But yeah, so that happened. And yeah, if you guys are wanting to skip ahead to the 59th,
Hey, that means I can update my birthday in my character sheet.
I would probably tell.
I'm now 27.
Aw. Oh yeah, my birthday. I'm about to get. Well, technically we don't age that way, but yeah.
Like, I don't want to write 15 in Virgo's years. I'm just.
Right.
What is it?
if it's 15, it's going to be times, I think, like what? 15 times 1.87 or something like that.
Well, I had 26 with 14 in Virgo's years, so it's.
Yeah. So this would be 28.
Oh no! I gained an extra year.
Well, the years are like 600 and
No,
something.
I got this.
So, on the 59th, Burberry, you would be able to acquire your glamored studded leather. John, you would be able to acquire your gloves of Fey swiftness. And Noel, your entwined notebooks would be ready for pickup.
Cool. I was gonna say, just before we did this time skip, I would probably have told Gideon about all this brother stuff and just let him know that some people might come asking questions.
He'd be like, oh goody.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because this is not all on us because he has Willem's head, so he should be extra careful about that.
No, I know. Like, I do not plan to let anyone else into the study. So he shall remain where he is for the time being. But that is good to know.
Yeah. Okay. So stuff acquired.
Yeah. I'd say over the course of this week, while you guys are out around town, I'm sure all of you at some point would cross paths, at least once, with Victor and his escort of hobgoblins as they continue to investigate this disgruntled sect of employees that are stealing from his company. I think you would also notice, some of you sooner than others, that there is indeed a decent number of folks that you cross paths with over the course of your days. Many of them well dressed. All of them sort of just glancing at you and passing as they walk by. They all kind of do this knowing nod, this acknowledgement, as they kind of recognize you. This quiet greeting as you pass by. And on a happier note, I think you would also see that as the holiday season draws closer and closer, the solstice, the new year gets closer with every passing day, more and more decorations are going up around town. Market Street and Temple Street are just lined end to end for miles with pine garland wreaths, ribbon, candles now, sort of like decorative magic candles set on top of lampposts. And a handful of places you'll see them literally just floating in the air outside of shops. There's lots of music in the air, singers and instrumentalists on street corners are growing more and more common. And At the same time, I think you're also seeing the Emerald Rail Company Expo sort of spilling out of its fairgrounds around Emerald Rail's industrial campus in town here. You're beginning to see lots of these sort of well-to-do folk in town for the showing, starting to kind of meander about other parts of Freeport. And you're seeing, folks in these beautiful coats and gowns, fancy hats, big swirly mustaches and canes. They're all sort of meandering about, taking in the sights, sort of partaking in the local culture as the expo sort of nears its conclusion. And for all that, there has been no sign of Sandy or any explicit signs of activity from the Calabayas outside of your suspicions about those strange folk you keep passing in the streets. No word from Martin. All's fairly quiet on that front. I do think at some point this week, you guys would be contacted by Yafel, the Dragonborn Director of Finances with the Emerald Rail Company. He probably would send you a letter with an update about what's currently going on, since he has not seen or heard from you. And what he would say would essentially boil down to he has brought these troubling rumors about Amelia to the attention of the board. He's impressed upon them how troubling these are to him, though he's still waiting on the actual documentation to arrive through official channels. And while negotiations with Amelia had definitely cooled off as a result of this, Amelia has proved more cooperative in the past week and more amenable to negotiate in terms that are more favorable to the rail company than she had previously, which Yafel believes might possibly be a result of the board's change in attitude from learning all this about her. Given that, it's unclear exactly what is going to come of all of this, but for the time being, the Quartermain's family is planning to leave the Old Coast by the end of the first week of the next month. And they plan to continue these negotiations via correspondence from this point forward.
Okay. I would call that good development. Fair enough. Well, what are we doing?
Yeah, what's everybody doing?
I'm having an uncomfortable dinner with my mom and Adler.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he is hamming it up for your mom, putting on his best, most charming affect. Really like behaving himself better than you've ever seen him behave with you, like ever in your life.
I feel like she'd take out her sending stone at one point and just like hold it and be like, in mid conversation, be like, "Who the fuck are you?" Where did Adler go?
Like the next chance he gets to reply is like, "I'm sorry, Edla cannot come to the stone right now. Please leave a message, and he will get back to you at his earliest convenience."
Kick. Nice little kick.
Yeah,
But does
jumping up.
Lauren's mom buy into it?
Yeah, that's the question.
Alright, let me open his character sheet. I can't remember what his stats are, but they're not terrible. Advar, can you charm Lauren's mom? Let's see.
Either really well or really badly.
Yeah, there's like a 50-50. I don't know.
Either way, it will be funny.
Yes.
So, Adlar has a +0 in persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
No charisma, no proficiency. He rolled a 2.
With
Oh, your
advantage?
mom. Him?
Did my
Uh,
mom roll a 1?
your mom, not having any special stats, I don't imagine has any special gifts and insight necessarily. But even without accounting for stats, she rolled an 18. So Adlar is like, he's schmoozing. He's, got his biggest shit-eating grin. No alcohol. Well dressed. He's like very, prim and proper. And he is doing his best to impersonate your behavior around his parents. But whereas his parents ate it up, your mom is smiling, nodding politely, and then every time he goes to take a drink, she shoots you this look like, is he for real right now?
She'd mouth back.
This is your friend? He gets up and goes to the bathroom and she says, so what is he really like?
Oh.
Because I know this man would not catch my daughter's attention.
We have.
So who am I actually talking to?
His name is Adlar. You are correct. That was not a lie.
Oh, good. Okay.
He's a hunter and feral, and we like to go out and party together.
And by party, are we talking about like a warden's party, or is this horse?
No?
Better.
Yes?
I was
What do
married-
you know about warden
I was
parties?
married to your father, Lauren. I'm well aware of what happens in that organization.
Okay. No, not like that sort of partying. Just drinking. Really.
Okay.
Does she believe Lauren?
Roll deception or persuasion.
Well, it's not.
Your
I'm not
choice.
lying. I'm just
Your
curious.
choice. Roll deception or persuasion.
Okay, I'll do persuasion.
Spill the tea, Lauren.
Was it 2 + 5?
7. Your mom's good at insight rolls. She rolled a 17. So, she's just kind of just drinking.
And smoking. Okay, we smoke.
Just drinking, just smoking.
Oh my god, mom.
Mm-hmm.
What? She's just sitting there like,
No, nothing. I'm sure that's all it is. Hi, Laura, welcome back.
Lauren's just like-
to see you.
all huffy at the table.
Huffy.
And then I feel like she can't take out her sending stone again because she already
She used it.
used it. Oh,
What,
darn.
was she gonna call for help?
No, she was gonna go to Adlar and be like, she ain't buying it, you dumbass, stop. Or maybe she'll just put a hand on it and be like, she's not buying it, I'd stop.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I do. What do you think we just talked about, you dumbass?
But beyond that, I think dinner goes well.
Okay.
And you share a lovely meal with your mother and your maybe soon-to-be boyfriend. I don't fucking know what's happening there. We'll see.
No, we don't.
Okay. It's a paramour.
Yeah.
The Lord doesn't even know.
Fling. So that happens at least once. Adlar's definitely going to push you for multiple dinners if he can manage it.
Honestly, I feel like
So how long is your mother in town?
I feel like honestly, after like hearing what his parents actually were saying, she's like, "Fuck it, fine, Lord, man. It's what I deserve."
Sure. So he'll torture you some more.
Yeah, she'll be like, "Hey, mom, guess what? Adler's just going to join us for every dinner tonight for the foreseeable
Just
future.
every dinner tonight. Just tonight.
Oh, yeah, just tonight."
For the 4 dinners we were planning on having tonight, he'll be there for all.
Yeah. So that's happening.
Who knows? Maybe he'll even drop by for Solstice. You know, just worm his way in.
Who's buying just like a big poofy fucking Christmas sweater? Merry Solstice, everyone. I bring tidings of Pharaoh.
Alright, anyways,
Anyways,
we can keep going.
it's like Adlar, it's fucking 65 degrees out. You don't need that.
Yeah, I feel like she'd be like,
You're gonna stroke out.
the Lord's dying for him seeing that.
So yeah, anything else you guys want to do?
For Solstice or in general?
I mean, before Solstice, because you have 2 days as of the 59th.
All the days just blend together, man.
Just running together.
I'm good.
I would probably do some level of last minute Christmas shopping for the party.
Okay. Do you have a list, or has this already been accounted for?
I have a list, but I don't think it's nothing magical or particularly shocking on here.
Okay.
Oh shit, I forgot. It's fine. Shani probably also forgot.
That was the first thing Shani did.
First thing Chani did was buy gifts for everybody. She took Dodo on a shopping spree for books.
The fact that you're telling me this just confirms the fact that you forgot, and that's excellent.
Oh.
I'm scared.
No, you shouldn't be.
Well, if nobody has anything pressing, I think that we can fast forward to the solstice itself.
We did it, y'all! We made
Old
it!
Lang Syne!
Birthday, Noel!
Oh,
Happy birthday!
right. It is my birthday. Thank you, guys.
I have presents for everyone.
I do too.
Alright, who wants presents for me first? Because there's art.
Oh shit, there's a bar. Roll the dice.
Well, nice.
As is tradition in D&D.
Alright, I'll just do numbers. So Chani 1, Pete 2, David 3, card 4.
2. So I have actually 2 for Noel.
Oh.
One's for Solstice and one's for your birthday. Hold on, let me just figure out how to get into general chat because I'm smart.
You can do it.
I don't know. That's iffy.
Barbie believes in you.
Oh no, it's been so long. Where did I put them?
Of course, the fucking video I picked for this it's already pre-muffled. I crank it up to hear it.
I love pre-muffled.
Okay.
And there's like a fireplace in the fucking Presidium.
That's your.
There's the big fireplace at the Great Hall.
That's your
Oh,
Solstice.
that's so cool! The pen of never-ending ink.
Oh, that's cool.
That even
That is pretty neat.
matches my color scheme.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Other one.
Oh, right, this is the one that I lost and that I sent to Johnny so that I could just go steal it from the chat that I had with her. Because she likes to look over my shoulder.
Ish.
And then that is your birthday present.
Oh,
And it's actually also a magical item.
really?
Yeah, it is. So it's made so your locket actually like fits into it.
That's so cool.
With the thing. So that's also a necklace of adaptation.
Oh, what does it do?
While wearing this necklace, you can breathe normally in any environment, and you have advantage on saving throws made against harmful gases and vapors.
You can breathe in the air.
It is a one that you can actually look up though, so if you want to,
Okay.
and it does require attunement, but it's just like a fun thing. We were talking about water and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just we're gonna.
This
Okay.
is super thoughtful, Burberry.
He just beams. 3. Next we have David.
Barnaby.
Oh no.
It's a crock pot you can carry.
Oh my goodness. I can have eternal gumbo, like eternal stew, but with gumbo.
Yes.
I'll just always have it.
That's awesome. Satchel
Uh,
of slow cooking. Good name too.
That was awesome.
That's great.
Okay, next is Clark.
Yes. Perfect.
It's a magical item that casts locate object, but the only object you can locate is the other side.
You never lose it.
Hey, that means
know
that
how
if I
you-
stuff- that means if I stuff somebody's mouth with it, I can always locate him with it.
Oh, they say shut up too.
That's why I said they were perfect.
That is perfect.
That's great.
Okay, and then for Lauren. Sorry, it's not magical, but I figured you'd appreciate it anyway.
I see a butt.
Oh no.
Is that just a bunch of smutty books?
Savage art, the glue brush. Something
Inner.
illustrated.
Something inner. Oh my god, that's
Just porn.
Yeah.
I just put porn books in my inventory.
That's amazing.
Oh, don't act like you.
Solstice, everyone!
The glue brush.
Happy solstice.
That's
Happy
hilarious.
solstice.
Oh my god.
Jeez, Cat, fucking starting off with a high bar right here.
Right? I'm like, I tried.
I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I've been literally sitting on these for like 5 sessions.
Well, what's crazy, Kat, is I never got like a message about what you sent me about Barnaby's stuff. So like, I was like, oh, let me go see, remember what it was, and I was like, when did you message me?
No, we chatted we chatted like with voice while everybody else is on break.
Yeah, I was definitely like, oh my.
Yes, that is actually where that book title came from.
Okay, well, I can go next.
Sure.
All right. I'm just gonna do it in the order that I have it written down. Let me go back to this. So first on it is Noelle. I got you Perfume of Bewitching.
Ooh.
Burberry, you got Dust of Deliciousness.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's amazing. John got the Dread Helm. And Barnaby, you get a small little stick. but it's like 2 magic items combined in one. It's like the pole of, it's like 2 of the poles and they're combined, and one of them's like a small pole that, basically it's a small pole, but then it turns into a fishing rod for easy storage.
You guys, a third form, doesn't it? Doesn't it turn into like a 10-foot pole too?
Yeah, it turns into a 10-foot pole and then a fishing pole, but then
And then a 1-foot pole.
and then like a 1-foot pole, so you can put it in your bag. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I got stuff for other people too, but they're.
I just looked it up. I love it.
I thought that would be good for John. All right.
Well, I'll
That's
toss
nice
some
stuff.
stuff out there. So, for Barnaby, and for some of this plot, we'll just say that I kind of did it over the last 9 days we skipped over. I would have gone to George and
George.
commissioned a custom banjo for Barnaby with the, whatever you call it, the length where you string the chords will be... The neck of it will be shaped similarly, probably built out of an old gun barrel.
Oh, that's fun.
There's no magic enchantments because, a little last minute, but
A pump action shotgun that's been converted into a
into a banjo. Exactly. For John, a little less tangible, but Noel would have made a donation of a essentially like a bookshelf worth of books, a library to the orphanage that John's reconstructing or working on. For Lauren, I had a hard time thinking of something specific to get you, but I know one thing you'll always appreciate, and I will bring out a very fancy bottle of alcohol for you. I will splurge a little bit, and I'll get something very nice that's not easy to get around here. I'll let the DM decide what that means exactly. And for Burberry, we've already talked about this, but we'll pull out 2 kind of soft leather-bound notebooks. They're kind of just wrapped in like a pink ribbon that's tied with a bow. And as I hand them to you, you'll notice that on the spine, I don't have a drawing of this, but on the spine, you see the mirrored back patterns of the 2 kobolds, Burr and Barry.
So cool.
And as you look through, as you undo the ribbon and open it up, you'll find that in both there's only one thing written by me, and it just says, "You are never alone." And these are to do with whatever you wish.
Hugs all around.
Yes.
Literally surrounding you. Hug.
Yeah. Happy Solstice.
Nice. I have things to do with these.
I wasn't prepared, but if Blunt will allow me to wreck on this,
Okay.
I'd like to have prepared a ring for each person that has a emerald embossed on it, and then it will engraved on it say, "What's lost can always be found."
Oh, that's really good.
That's good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, thank you.
Definitely not as thoughtful as everybody else's gift, but at least it's something.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting this either, so I'm going to need something to think about.
Just a heads up. Let me know the first time that you use that satchel for the cooking.
Slow cooker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It has a 5% chance to explode, so
What?
gotta track that.
It's just the first time.
Yeah, I do have a gift for Jade as well, and I know Lauren has gifts for other people too. So, whenever we want to inject those two.
You might go first.
Okay. Well, I assume Jade would be with us here.
Sweater on.
Huh?
It says she has her oversized sweater on and thick woolly
Okay.
socks, even though it is
It is really warm in here, Jade. Are you sure you want to be wearing that?
I'm fine, she says, as you can see the sweat beading on her forehead. It's just like home.
I'll press the digitation a little bit of that sweat. No, for Jade, it's not the most thoughtful thing in the world. It's kind of a re-gift, but I know you are about to be going on your own adventure soon, somewhere exciting and interesting, and
Yes.
we have had this weapon of the Dark Moon for months, and never once has it aligned with our journey in any meaningful way, but it is very powerful, and I'll take out the weapon, and it's probably in the form of a rapier, because that was the last form it had.
At this stage, it would be... Let me check our calendar.
How limp is it? That's my headcanon for how it works. It just gets really limp and soft when the moon is new.
Okay, so it
That
is
performance anxiety.
Yeah.
Does
Does it need a local
half
pill?
moon, a quarter moon, whatever you call it. So I think that's a D6, D8.
Oh, is it DA right now?
I think Crescent is a D6.
Okay. Well, there's that's something.
So it
But
could be right here.
anyway, spiel aside, it is a very powerful magical weapon, and it gets stronger with the phases of the moon. It's never really lined up for us, but maybe you'll have more luck with it.
That's so sweet. Thank you. She takes the rapier out of her hands. I feel a little silly now because she puts the rapier down on the table and reaches under the bench and pulls up
I got you a
What
weapon
is
of the dark.
very clearly a gift-wrapped fucking sword with a big basket hilt. I got you this. She hands it to you.
Boy, I should have wrote more stuff about our relationship and my backstory, so we plan on more to go off of. I'll open it. What does it look like?
So it is a beautiful weapon. The quillions on the crossguard have this very fine sort of like acid etching work done to them to make them look almost like feathers that are sort of like sticking out. As sort of the main crossguard there, and then you have this like swirling sort of filigree shape creating sort of a basket around the grip. And as you take it out, it's got this beautiful silver sheen, and you can see even a light of the fire, like as you can tilt it. There appears to be more engraving on the blade, and as you look closely at it and begin to read, I think you would recognize pretty quickly the first few words. And Jade kind of leans in at the same time as you realizing it, and she just says, "It's from the first poem you ever wrote me." And it's just
Yeah.
scrambling to the blade.
Very cute.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Also, I got a little bit of magic into it, so
Really?
it's a +1.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank Thank you so much, everyone.
She will give you a little kiss.
I will give Jade a kiss.
Aw.
Is Adlar present for this, Lauren?
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna pop in on my mom's solstice or if he's here.
Make a decision. Was he invited to this?
Probably.
Okay, so he's there. He's probably super hungover, and he says, "I got you something," and he will plop down what is very clearly a tankard, just wrapped entirely just in the gift wrap. Like you can see the handle wrapped and everything. Like it's literally just a cup in silhouette. And as you unwrap it, you see it has the same face and like wood coloring to it as the one that Barnaby bought you. And Adlar just kind of leans over. He like wraps an arm around his shoulder. And he says, "Every time we have a drinking contest together, I want you to drink from this cup."
Hey, guess what? She'll pull out her other one and she's like, "We can drink together from these cups."
And he just freezes like, "Ah, fuck." Look, I tried. Merry Solstice.
Poor Adlar, man.
He tried so hard.
He just turns into more and more of a goober every session.
Just a little bit. Well, Lauren actually has 2 gifts for Adlar.
Oh shit! Now I feel real bad.
Well, the first one is what was it? It was the pipe of smoke monsters. So now you can get high.
What now?
A pipe of smoke monsters?
You want me to get high and see monsters?
No, you get to like blow out smoke and they turn into like creatures and shit. I thought that was cool.
Let me try this shit. He's gonna immediately get that thing lit up and start fucking with it. Huh.
I thought it was
Okay,
cool.
yeah. So he takes a puff and begins like, and at first it just looks like a cloud of smoke. He's like, "Shit, am I doing it right?" Oh wait, no, there it is. And you see the cloud has just sort of compressed into this very long, winding serpent.
That's cool.
It's you, see? Before it kind of like, and then continues to dissipate.
And then the other gift was a custom bow. So she'll just pull out under the bench this really long thing. She's just like,
Is these also a sword? So many swords tonight. Nope, that's wood. Oh, hey, thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's like carved with a bunch of like animals from the forest. So there's like a big old bear on it, and there's like a serpent, a jaguar, just like monkeys etched into it. And I think it was a +1 is what I paid for.
Let me add that to his step log.
So Adlar's gift. And then Dodo, I took on a shopping spree, so I feel like Dodo's just in the corner like,
Dodo's been dead silent this whole time. He's just reading.
yeah, he's like, I got mine. Just stack. And the other one I have is with my mom.
Sure. Is she invited to the Brazilian, or are you doing a private thing with her?
I feel like I would have invited her.
You would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's not alone.
Sure. I don't think she's maybe a little intimidated by Gideon and Aaron and Gerald, just because like their presence. They're kind of doing their own thing a little bit.
Well, Lauren already gave Gerald a pre solstice.
Pre-solstice gift.
Yeah.
Sure.
The plate mail.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, right.
Yep. He doesn't get a gift. He already got one.
He got his gift months ago.
Yes. Well, not
Um,
months ago, because I think it was like when we came back.
mhm.
Like a month and a half ago.
So yeah, so what did you get your mom?
I got my mom a blue alchemy jug.
Oh, cool.
So then she can have wine, oil, vinegar, stuff for cooking, and she can always just kind of restock stuff when she's getting low.
Boiling hot tea,
Mm-hmm.
mayonnaise by the gallon.
Yeah, I don't know why there's so many.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. And never ever give your players the ability to just spawn in mayonnaise. Weird shit happens when that goes
And
down.
that's why I gave it to
Yeah.
a Lauren mom.
It's no longer in our possession.
She will use it responsibly.
Every alchemy jug can make mayonnaise. It doesn't matter if they're blue or orange or normal. What the fuck?
Yeah, the
People
normal
want
one
their
can be-
mayonnaise, even though it's a sin against nature.
The blue one can make beer, hot tea, honey, mayo, oil, vinegar.
I will say that
Russian
garlic
salt water.
mayonnaise is delicious.
Yeah.
Orange makes beer, honey, mayo, oil, soy sauce, and vinegar. Oh, okay. Fresh and salt water and wine.
Yeah, I felt like the blue one was the most like home gift thingy.
Yeah, that's fair. And then the regular one does acid, poison, beer, honey, mayo, oil, vinegar. Weird. Weird. But she's very appreciative once you show her how it works. Because she's like, oh, it has so many spouts. But then it's like, oh, they all do different things. Interesting. She's like, thank you, Lauren. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one, Clark. That would
Okay.
not be a terrible idea, but that could be expensive. So I'll have to think about it. Or not even think, really just read. But yeah, I'll get back to you. And I think your mom probably doesn't have anything quite so extravagant for you necessarily.
That's okay.
But she does have this small wrapped package, and it, as you unwrap it, it looks to be a cloak, and it's colored in the same sort of like ocean green to like seafoam white patterning that the Green Wardens wear in this area. And she will say, this was your father's before he left for his last expedition.
Rose, she's gonna tear up a little bit. Like, it's fine. I'm gonna drink.
But you're so much more like him with every passing day. You've grown so strong.
Oh god.
Here it
Oh
comes.
no.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh
She tears up. She grabs you up in a big hug.
god. Lauren's tearing up a little bit. She's like, thanks, Mom.
And yeah, it is very comfortable, lightweight. There's a hood to it. Maybe not quite what you're used to wearing.
I feel like her mom's like, cover up, you slut.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah.
But
Does she like immediately like put it on her? So it's
I mean,
close and
she doesn't
then-
close it. She just kind of like drapes it over your shoulders.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I will say, as you take hold of it, you do feel a faint bit of magic, this sort of warmth to it as you wrap it around you, like an uncharacteristic warmth for how light it is. What you are wearing right now is called a nature's mantle.
Okay.
What's it do?
So, and you'll probably notice this as you wear it around, that the color does shift slightly as you walk, and the texture sort of adjusts to blend in with the terrain around you. It serves as a spellcasting focus for your druid spells, and while you are lightly obscured, you can use the hide action as a bonus action, even if you are being directly observed.
Cool.
So as long as you can find some shade or some light foliage, you can very quickly lose anyone who might be looking at you.
It is a attunement item, correct?
It is attunement, but it could be useful.
I mean, you can
And
still
it was
wear
your
it.
dad's.
No. I'm just like, shit.
I've got so many attunement items, guys. What do I do?
Do I take off my amulet of non-detection? Hell no, my mom's there.
You take it off. He says, "There you are."
Masharog would never scry on Christmas.
No. Are you kidding me? I feel like he'd be like scrying as much as he
This
can.
is prime
It's
scrying time.
like, find out who she's close to.
Actually, I also observe religious holidays, and I will be spending my solstice with my close friends and loved. Oh wait, they're in jail.
No, instead I'm going to spend my winter solstice with my closest enemies.
Grr. So that is what you got here.
This was sweet.
Do the Gatewatch people give each other gifts?
Is there
I
a
think-
Gatewatch feast? Because if there's not, there's about to be.
There is, whether they plan one or not.
Yeah, there is food.
I was about to say, considering how much you guys have given them and what you've hooked them up with recently, they actually do have a pretty decent spread relative to past holidays. They got themselves some roast birds. They got some like baked goods. They got some fresh produce. They got like a big sweet potato casserole situation, with the melted marshmallows and shit. Like they got a pretty good table set up, and it looks like they actually cooked enough for like a lot of people, not just the 5 or 6 of them in the fortress.
I give Susanna the toy for her solstice.
She gives you a big hug and a handful of drawings of the two of you. Most of them you guys are playing with there, but it is very sweet.
Wait, did
it's
you
got
say with a bear?
no. Most of them has the two of you playing with fire. Like she's shooting it out of her hands, you're breathing it out of your mouth. Like I think she just assumes you're a dragon at this point.
That's fine.
But yeah, they are very sweet. I
I
think
will have to update my inventory to say stack of child's drawings.
I think Secundo and Rainer sort of exchanged weapons. There's a lot of weapons being tossed around at this dinner table. They each bought each other a new sword. Rainer got Secundo a single-edged curved blade akin to the one that he typically uses. And Rainer's is a more general straight sword situation, long sword. I think you will see that Aaron has outfitted both of them with new breastplates. Gerald has procured somehow what looks to be a similar contraption to Barnaby's little discovery from Monty Bont, the all-purpose tool, or not his discovery, but his haul, his loot, his little all-purpose tool. He's found a similar item, although it is much less intricate looking. Like it's got like a wooden handle, and it seems to have like a few different sort of functions, but it's not quite as advanced as the one Barnaby's found. But Erin does seem very happy to see that. She has gone to the effort of procuring Gerald a new greatsword, which he's very happy to take off her hands. Gideon literally just hands out small pouches of coins to everyone. And it looks like Erin got him like a stack of books, like 3 big, heavy, leather-bound tomes with nothing written on the fronts, but like faint engraving. The top one of which appears to be some sort of like skull instead of a magic circle. And as he kind of runs his fingers across it, there's like a small smile like, "Oh, we found it." Just like, it took some doing. And Gerald got him a very heavy-duty padlock and key for your room. Which he says, "Thank you."
Gee, I wonder why he got him that.
Is it because of a
Who
Lauren?
knows?
No.
What did I do again?
I fucking Gideon so many times. Which one was this about?
I genuinely don't
Nobody
remember.
remembers.
It's the one where you tried to scare the bejesus out of him and he swatted you out of spider form. Like, broke into his room.
Genuinely, I don't think
Remember? He
ever
stuck you in a box as vengeance?
I don't think I broke into his room.
No, you didn't.
No, because that's why I'm like, I don't feel like that was really a Lauren, because Lauren did stuff like, she gave him like a little dick eraser. Okay, I remember the dick eraser, and then I remember she tried to like scare him back, but that was like in the big hall.
Yeah.
That's where that occurred. That was not in like the room.
Either way, you do jack with him a lot.
And that was Gerald's gift to him?
Yeah.
Does he make pointed eye contact?
He doesn't, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think this might be more in relation to the head.
Yeah, Gideon will kind of like glance over towards Noel. I think Noel will catch that little bit of a gesture. Soon.
I don't know what that means.
Later.
Wants to re-question the head with you, I guess.
But yeah, I think your solstice this morning, lots of gifts are exchanged, and you guys are free to do with this holiday as you will.
Gerald didn't get anything for Lauren? Damn. I get it now. I'm just kidding.
How many magic items do you want?
What?
How many magic items do you want?
Oh,
What is this?
I want all of them.
That's what all the romancing is about.
Exactly.
All the magical gifts you get from your
Give
paramours.
me my magic item.
It's like we established these relationships, damn it.
I did.
Is the bank open today?
The bank is not open today.
Okay. No, that's the reason I ask. Sure.
It's Christmas. And New Year.
Can I retcon slightly for doing something yesterday then? So, I actually I got a second pair of the twinning books, so I would like to put one of them in my parents' bank thing with a note that I
Okay,
managed to write.
sure. So you leave them a little twinned notebook in their account. Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix my inventory and rearrange it, and it is so dumb.
Oh, is the filter not working?
No, it just won't, like, I try to move it and it just goes like across the screen, and I'm just like, I want it right goddamn here, but then it just shoots upwards, and I'm just like,
I'm sorry.
God. Sorry. Anyways, I'm not being.
There will be
That's why I'm over
plenty
here.
of time to fix the inventory.
Anyway, sorry. Please continue. I just wanted to make sure I was not frustrated with anything. I'm frustrated by the sheep. Anyways, sorry.
So, with all of this taken care of, I think this is probably the spot to wrap, just because we have exchanged gifts, and I don't think anyone's got any high key plans for the solstice. So, we can call our session here, right here at midnight, and happy solstice.
Merry Christmas, everyone. It's fucking
It's only
100
August.
degrees outside here, but Merry Christmas.
Wait, it's 100 there? It's only 83 here. What happened?
I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? This isn't really a gift, but like a gift to myself, and Burberry will enjoy this. As of this level up, I can cast message now.
Oh, shit.
Burberry
I got
will get
action.
a little message.
I got action surge.
Oh,
Now
shit.
I can beat the shit out of stuff even faster.
Yeah, our Christmas gift is our level up.
So we're level. What level are we now?
8, I think.
Oh, okay. All right, then I already did. Okay.
Okay.
God bless us. I mean, God's bless
God
us.
bless us, everyone. Yeah. Burberry is our Tiny Tim, I think.
Tiny Tims.
Tiny Tims.
Yep. The two twins.
Well,
Good session, everybody.
bring us home, DM.
All right.
We
Army
pull
voice
back
right
out of the window to the warm
Yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah, we pull out onto sort of a foggy morning in Freeport. The sun is out, but there's some slight gray clouds overhead. It's cool, it's damp, sort of it's a nice day to stay inside with friends and family. And you zoom out and you can see the lights of Freeport kind of fading as the sun continues to rise and starts casting its glittering rays across the water before being partially obscured by the clouds overhead again. And today, at least, you are at peace and safe and not worrying about any of the incredibly dangerous, terrible things looming on the horizon.
And that's
No.
the DM's gift to us.
Until you get a message from Lasharon.
No terrible warlock attacks.
By the way, Lauren,
No
Lasharon's
prey
on a
monsters.
warpath, by the way.
Wait.
Oh, by the way, that's happening on Daggermore. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not here. Alright,
Just-
well,
Do you tell her that?
no, I'm joking.
We'll
Just like, what's the
out.
worst possible time to say this?
By the way,
Right
Lashard
now.
is coming.
Right now. Lasharon's on the warpath. He'll probably stop out here soon. I will say I am genuinely concerned about the trial for Bloodbeard.
It'll probably be fine.
That's months from now, I think.
That's
No.
future Johnny problems.
That's at like the very beginning of the month, if I remember correctly.
Future Johnny problems.
I have to look up the exact date, but I believe this is coming month.
Yeah, it's like I thought it was like early because I was like, oh,
That's weeks from now.
But I am genuinely mildly concerned about that one. But anyways, okay.
It'll be fine, we said. No, Nothing could happen now, we said.
Nice.
All right.
We'll see. So yeah, we'll give an RP point to everybody, and then if we want to vote for an MVP, go for it.
I can't vote for everybody.
Oh,
I know. I'm like, I don't even know.
tell you what,
I'm voting
it's
for Noel
Solstice.
for typesetting that
Everybody
mother
gets
Helen.
an MVP point.
Oh, we all get MVP?
Happy
Yay!
Solstice.
Yay!
I'll trade mine in for inspiration.
I'll trade
Because
my
apparently I'm gonna
MVP.
fucking need it.